Point ball. The kick is up. It is no good. He pulled it, and Georgia Southern comes into Lincoln and stuns Nebraska. Clay Helton has officially arrived.
I want to acknowledge that it's been a tough day today. This is a day that I'd hoped would never come.
And the breaking news that Scott Frost has been relieved of duties as head coach at the University of Nebraska.
Clean pocket, Padilla, intercepted, ball game over. Picked off by Chris Kolorvik. And the Wild Wild West is still up for grabs. And Nebraska is going to end their 7-game losing streak to Iowa.
We have the privilege today of introducing the 31st coach in the history of Nebraska football, one of the best out there, in Mr. Matt Rhule.
It was 1983. I was 11 years old, diehard Penn State fan. Had a chance to go out and see the kickoff classic. Penn State, Nittany Lions take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and on that day, Nebraska won 44-6. And I can still remember walking back to the subway with tears in my eyes, wondering why Nebraska had to do that to us.
There was a time when Nebraska football was feared, and we certainly want to get back to that. We want to be a team that you say, you know what, that team's feared, but we're not at that point yet. We're at a point right now where I believe that we have to take back the respect of what it means to play Nebraska and to be Nebraska. I mean, I want people to respect when they see that white helmet with that red N on it. And so I want our fans to respect us when they pay their money to come watch us play. I want our opponents to respect us. I want all of college football to respect the way that Nebraska plays the game. And most importantly, I want our players to respect what it means to be a Cornhusker and what it means to be at Nebraska. So this season for me is all about us not just earning, but taking back respect and bringing back respect to Nebraska football.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Let's get the show on the road on 1620, The Zone.
Good morning and welcome in. Happy Thursday and happy game day. It is time. This is a unique game day, unlike any other, where we're going to have a good mix of what happened last night. Usually we don't talk about what happened last night on the first game of the season or the first Friday before the football season, but here we are, and it is indeed game day, and we have to switch it over, or we just carry that sweet, sweet momentum in from last night. Can you imagine this state if Nebraska is to pull off the upset tonight in Minneapolis, as we are already riding the high off of Volleyball Day in America last night? The rest of America is riding a high off of Volleyball Day in America last night, as we are here at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, ready for the Red Out Lunch, which is presented by Union Bank and Trust. At Union Bank and Trust, your money has people. Connor Happer and Josh Otson with you for the Connor Happer Show, which will, I told Josh right before we went on air, this will be probably the fastest show that we've ever done. We have a lot to get to today. Obviously, we'll reflect on last night. We'll do that here in just a moment, and then have all the final touches on tonight's football game and of course, the 2023 season as well. Don't forget, our roundtable discussion will be here with you at noon as we have the meeting of the families. All of the Zone shows, the Zone regulars will be here at Oscar's. And so we invite you as well. Oscar's opens up at 11. They are very, very prepared to serve you pizza, beer, and wings all day long as you want to be here. Giant TV that we're looking at right now that we could only assume will have, Fox on it when the time rolls around. But we're watching about 6 different channels right now. And at various points, as all these channels, ESPN2, NFL Network, even MLB Network maybe, and ESPN, they'll show highlights from last night, which was Volleyball Day in America. But here we are. This is going to be a fun one today.
Volleyball last night, football tonight. If the football team can do their part and bring home a W, there's a 4-day weekend.
Yeah. And we're just riding that thing all season long.
Yeah.
All bets are off, Josh. What did I say?
You might be right that all bets are off at 1-0 because the fandom in this state would hit a fever pitch.
Yeah, it really, and we'll talk about this a little bit later in the show, and or in a couple minutes. I think of what Volleyball Day helped do last night was really re-energize a fan base that I don't think we've talked to a lot of people this offseason. If you've been listening this entire offseason, we've probably heard from you, and a common retort that I hear is, man, I just don't, I can't buy in until I see it. I can't buy in until we really go. And now you're being confronted with the idea of last night was such a unique experience and such a bonding experience for an entire fan base. And now you hope to carry that sort of momentum into today, and you can just feel it a little bit more. So you're confronted if you've been like I'm going to wait and see type of guy. Today might not be the day for you. Today might not be your day. That is, of course, up until 7:00. 7:00, the ball toe meets leather at 7:00, Josh, in Minneapolis. And but until then, it's a nonstop party. It's a nonstop party until we go.
Opening day is for the diehards, right? Like,
yes.
You will not
Everybody's
be more
got their
hopeful
jerseys
than you are today.
Yep, that's exactly right. It's one of my favorite shows of the year, probably my favorite show of the year. So I've always said that. So here we are at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill. Once again, they open up at 11:00. Dan asked on the YouTube feed, how's the gabagool out here? Top notch. Top notch.
It's Oscars, you know.
It's my boy Oscar. He's got the gabagool. He's got the whole thing. All right, so here we are today on the show. We'll kind of crunch down a Thursday show into a couple hours here because we got to make room for the roundtable, which starts at noon. And I got to be honest with you, it may linger on into the 1:00 hour.
You don't say.
And it may have a little bit of a ramp up before noon as well. Michael Bruntz will join us here in about 15-20 minutes. We will get the latest from Minneapolis. What's the vibe like up there? We'll see if he has any FOMO for missing out on Volleyball Day last night. Josh will still bring you a top 5. We'll have the odd news, which we may have a piece of the odd news that made it outside of the odd news involving a bull in Norfolk last night.
And real quick, the top 5 is your favorite top 5. It's the last day of August, Connor.
Oh, yes.
So,
best poll questions of the month.
This show is nothing but bangers.
And then we will talk to Jacob Padilla, as we normally do at 11:00, who was courtside for Volleyball Day in America last night, or Volleyball Day in Nebraska. But like I said, it really has turned into an American bonding experience, I think. So that's the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'd love to hear your final predictions, thoughts going into tonight. If you have any concerns, we will say, no, screw you concerns. And you
get out of here, not today.
You can hit us up with those at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, or at Connor Happer there as well. Email Connor at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox. And I'll, of course, comment on our YouTube stream. We say good morning to all of our YouTube watchers. I know we're looking a little, if I pull it up here, we're kind of like, if you're doing a documentary interview and the person doesn't want to be identified, we're that, right now, but that's okay. We'll get things set up as we go along out here. So feel free to drop a comment in there or text or call 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees The Source hotline. About last night, Josh, I said when this thing got announced, when was it? Probably April. Yeah. They announced this in April, and I think a lot of us had the expectation that Nebraska would break the attendance record for a regular season volleyball game with ease. I thought probably in my wildest dreams that they would maybe get 45 to 50,000 people in there to watch a volleyball game, and maybe a couple more who are Scotty McCreery fans or whoever the concert was going to be, and you blow out an attendance record. Well, 3 days later, Nebraska announced that they had sold 90,000 tickets to this event, and it held. And I got to say, from being there last night, I was at least a little, I don't know, sort of cynical about it. Like, okay, what's it going to look like? What's it going to feel like? It was a locked in, full 92,003 people volleyball crowd last night, and the first roof at Memorial Stadium was pretty freaking sweet. And like it took only one. Husker fans are really, really smart, and they like to root for all things Huskers. So if you haven't been to a volleyball game before, like me, you caught on to the things that they do really, really quickly, and it very quickly became like, oh, this is just the Devaney Center, just moved a few blocks southwest, and there happens to be 92,003 people. And that when that announcement, when our guy D Wayne, maybe D Wayne can make an appearance today or something like that. I should text him, because he got to do the greatest thing that any like PA guy or MC has ever got to do, which is say, you just set a world record.
Yeah.
You just set a world record. There is 92,003 people here. And at that point, it was a party from there on out. Nebraska won in straight sets last night against UNO. It wasn't really about that all that much. I'm sure. I mean, from the UNO side, from the Omaha side, from the Kearney side, from the Wayne State side, I mean, all of the players, coaches, anybody involved was floored, blown away. And now this is translated into America is floored by this.
My prediction about GMA covering the was correct.
Yeah, that one was easy.
Well, no, it's very difficult to predict. I had the stones to say it.
Travis writes in on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed about the traveling up to Minnesota. I imagine that's a heavy traffic flow this morning on I-80 East to I-35 North into Minneapolis. Travis says, I've been on I-35 North for 20 minutes. Nebraska plate count 7. So maybe you woke up this morning after the straight up like heroin shot of last night, and you were like, screw it, I'm going to Minneapolis.
Let's go.
We're going.
Let's keep this thing going.
Yeah, we're just going to keep this party rolling all weekends, and you send us into a long weekend as well. So I expect that the productivity level in the state today and tomorrow, as far as your workplaces might go, maybe a little low, but I think we're willing to bite that bullet for the ongoing party. It was the most unique sporting event I will ever be a part of. I could say that confidently. And we said this at the beginning when we were cynical about it, and when I didn't know how many people were actually going to go. If they were to sell this out, and if we're to look like the dream that was sort of proffered by Trev Alberts, if it were to actually come to fruition, it would be the greatest Husker fan achievement of all time. And there is a long list of them. It's reading out Notre Dame. It's reading out Colorado. It's reading out UCLA. It's going far and wide to support Nebraska athletics. Last night, a crowd of 92,000 people watched a Nebraska volleyball game inside of Memorial Stadium. And I'm not kidding. It was a real life 92,000. You know, when you walk in Memorial Stadium and there is it's sold out and there's all the seats are filled.
Yeah, there's a sellout streak. I don't know if you heard about this.
That's one part of it. And then I can recall big games over my lifetime where it's truly a sea of red, where the people are just packed in. It is shoulder to shoulder. Everybody is uncomfortable. I think of the pregame of the Akron game in 2018. Scott Frost, what was supposed to be Scott Frost's first game, often, and that was like the barometer of like, oh my God, there is as many people in here as there can possibly be. It was like that last night. It was like that last night, and I'm shocked. I suppose I shouldn't be. I'm shocked and I'm floored at what Nebraska, Husker Nation was able to do. And now the rest of the country is as well. I can very confidently say that was the most unique sporting event I will ever be a part of. And as you can now tell, last night, where it's 24 hours before the football season starts, it completely unseated Nebraska football from the conversation yesterday. Mm-hmm. And a little bit probably today too, as we're talking about it right now. But I think
nothing does that.
Nothing does that. And more so, it's I think driven Husker fans to be more excited and less cynical about what may happen tonight. I really think that it's permeated now through the Nebraska athletic department, or just being a Nebraska fan in general. That was a really, really special situation last night.
I know logistically it would be nearly impossible, but if that could have been a home football game tonight and just the energy stayed there for another day, I mean, what would Lincoln be like today?
I mean, a madhouse. I mean, I was thinking about it on Wednesday or on Tuesday night when, you know, the Zach Bryan concert was going on, and you could feel the energy because all of the kids were there and all the students were there, and they knew that they didn't have school the next day. And it was like, this is just going to roll into tomorrow, which is going to roll into Thursday. And if Nebraska football can punch it tonight and they get that job done, it'll just roll. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how far it rolls at that point. All bets are off. Some are saying
towards the end of the volleyball match and some of the post-game festivities, I got to thinking to myself, if Matt Rhule can get this thing going, it would be like that every Saturday.
That's it, man.
It just would.
And having the first game of a new coach always provides that hope and the possibility. And so tonight's the first, you know, it's the first impression. First impressions are really, really important. So my guess is they're going to go all out to try and get that win tonight. We'll talk about the game, but like we've talked about the idea of the game where it's going to be a little slow going and they're going to do like, I think if they find a chance to get that knockout blow tonight, they're going to really, really take that shot. And so maybe you make a couple big plays early. Once again, we'll continue on that throughout.
It's not about
the show,
starting fast,
but it's not about starting fast. You're never going to hear me talk about starting fast. Texture at the 402 writes in, will you guys be taking messages from listeners or will you be too preoccupied? Now, that's a two-part question. We are very preoccupied, but we will be taking messages from listeners, of course. This is about you guys as much as it is about the game and about us. So I talked a little bit about, you know, how I sort of, I don't know if cynical is the right word, but, you know, it's more of just a question. What's it going to be like? And last night, you know, I was like almost crying. Like it was like I didn't know why. I couldn't control myself. It was just such a celebration of and I think it was sort of a thank you to Nebraska volleyball. And not that program hasn't been like adequately supported over the years. Obviously they have been, but it just felt like this ginormous thank you, and thank you to John Cook. And you saw John Cook; he couldn't hold it.
Yep.
You know,
he broke at the end. He tried,
and his speech was unbelievable. Which was, hey, only three things shut the University of Nebraska down: snowstorms, COVID, and Nebraska volleyball. Everyone said COVID, and it was like, what? COVID? What are we talking about?
I hate that. Well, you don't know that pre-game he was interviewed like right before the match started.
Yeah, I didn't see any of the TV product.
And he said the exact same thing. So he knew what he was going to say after the match.
Good, he had it written down.
And I was like, oh, man, this would have hit harder had I not heard it before the match.
It just felt like it was this giant like parade celebration. It almost felt like a championship parade kind of, you know, just a celebration and a giant thank you for Nebraska volleyball and what they've meant to the state, and a giant celebration of Husker Nation. So I don't know. We asked this to Mitch yesterday, like, who deserves the most credit for this? Maybe it's Trev Alberts at the end of the day, because I think it's probably his vision and his idea to sort of dream big, and him telling John Cook repeatedly over the last couple years since he's been here, like, we can do this. And John Cook, I think, having some doubts about it.
Yep, that's the key. Most ADs would say, great idea, but logistically, how do we do it? How do we do this? How do we do that? Trev Alberts said, let's do it. And then said, okay, now what does it look like? How do we do this?
And it was perfectly executed.
It felt that way on TV.
It was perfectly executed. Just the whole thing went completely according to script last night. So
I'll admit it. I cried.
Did you?
Yeah. I cried. It was a wonderful moment. Just the pride that I felt, being from the state and seeing that.
There you go, Peter.
Thank you, Peter. And then, my wife's sitting right next to me, and I don't know if you know this, my wife is a woman.
My wife.
So she, it meant all the more to her that many people would come out and support a woman's sport, and it truly felt like on TV everyone was there for the volleyball. It wasn't the social gathering that we thought it was. It was the volleyball team was playing.
It was.
Let's go see the volleyball.
Travis writes in on the YouTube, careful, Connor. People might start to think that you care about women, kids, or dogs. Don't go too far.
Yeah. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Let's not get carried away. But yeah, man, it was I had to do the old man at a funeral thing, which is like, it wasn't sunny out, but I had to put my sunglasses on. I was like, I can't let them see me crying at this. This is crazy. But yeah, I mean, it just happened. It was during the tunnel walk, and just seeing that place in a different light. I sort of felt like it was, when they put the courts on the football field for the Final Four. It was kind of like that, and it was just like, this thing is so giant, it's so magnificent, and then you have this court that's there, and all the players look so small, and you could sort of see them moving around. It's just such a different and unique environment. And I thought about each of those players and sort of what they were having to go through in that moment, where I think luckily for Nebraska, it wasn't a giant game, because I don't know how they would have been able to sort of handle it. You got to get refocused and all of a sudden play some volleyball. And as they do, they're stone cold killers. They took care of business, because that's what the Nebraska volleyball program is all about. So, I mean, what a celebration last night. And all the credit, most of the credit goes to Trev Alberts for the vision and the execution, of course, but everybody who's in charge. And then, of course, the 92,003 people who showed up. Unforgettable. One more thing on this before we take a quick break and get to Bruntz and transition over to football a little bit.
I got one more too.
Okay, we got one more each. Never do this again. I don't mean to sound like, I'm not trying to say that you couldn't do it again. I'm saying don't do this again.
They could run it back today and get another 92,000.
Because it was so special, and it was so beautiful and pure and organic. Like, I want to just think of that forever. I don't want to think about Volleyball Day 2025. I want to think about the one and only Volleyball Day in Nebraska for the rest of my life.
I think you're probably
do this
right.
again. Never do it again.
You're probably right. I mean, it's hard to say no to $2 million in ticket sales.
I know. I mean,
I think you're probably right. And to the people on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, who are saying Penn State could do this in Happy Valley. No, they couldn't. They don't even sell at their volleyball arena.
They get 4,000 people at their basketball games, and their basketball team's been kind of good. So.
Wisconsin could do it at Lambeau. It would cost so much to rent Lambeau. Like, why would you even do it? Well, they could do it at Camp Randall. Like, the capacity is not there for it. Like, no one else can do this.
Yep, that's it. And that's why I want it to just be there. That's why I want it to just live right there. Eric writes in on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, Eric.
Subject line, I cried. I'm reading this. Oh. How could you not cry at something so amazing last night? Have Josh play some Ja Rule. I cry on an intro and outro. Okay, so maybe you're just an easy crier.
I'm a very easy crier.
I
will fully admit that.
I am too.
Poll question up at Happer Show. Did you cry?
Did you cry? No? Did you cry? Yes or no? I look forward to people's answers on that one.
Remember, it is an anonymous poll. No one will know. No one.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. You put your sunglasses on virtually.
Yes.
So I did last night. Chris Montana says I got a little choked up during the tunnel walk. Also talked to a friend of mine. Big gruffy dude in his early 50s said he got a little emotional as well. Yeah, we're men.
Yeah,
we're men,
manly men.
We don't cry. That's too easy. too easy to cry last night. All right, plenty more on that as we go on throughout the show. We are live at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill for our Red Out Lunch, which is presented by Union Bank and Trust. At Union Bank and Trust, your money has people. Come join us at 11. Plenty of beer, wings, and whatever else, pizza, whatever else they have to offer here at Oscar's. We will be indulging ourselves coming up very shortly as well. Coming back, Michael Bruntz is on boots on the ground in Minneapolis. Let's have a chat about tonight's game and put the finishing touches on the offseason with Bruntzy next on the Connor Happer Show, live from Oscars at 1620 The Zone.
The Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Another warm and sunny day ahead for Thursday, though a bit more breezy. South winds will gust up to around 20 miles per hour, highs around 85. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Cater this Labor Day with barbecue from the Rib Shack Smokehouse for 108th and Q.
The cigar enthusiasts at Hearth Cigars and Pipes are a pretty diverse bunch of humans. Some enjoy an adult beverage or two, others pass the time with a competitive yet friendly game of dominoes. Still others enjoy shooting some pool downstairs, while more than a few are just satisfied with each other's company. The common thread with all of them is the awesomeness that is their favorite cigar from the humidor. Hearth Cigars and Pipes, just off the 48th Street exit from I-680 at the corner of Mormon Bridge Road and McKinley, and at hearthcigars.com.
Here's today's Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
The big game versus Minnesota is right around the corner, and while it will be a day full of pressure in a hostile environment, head coach Matt Rhule isn't that worried about getting off to a quick start.
Yeah, you're never going to hear me talk about starting fast. They started fast last year. We were up 10-0. The game to me is about, as Coach Osmer told me, played the whole game to get to the fourth quarter and try to win in the fourth. We want to be the best team at the end, and I've worked hard to teach our guys that. You know, there's a great quote, what kind of competitor sees the finish line and slows down? You know, we want to sprint to the finish line. We want to sprint. And so for us, we're going to go out and play really, really hard. You know, we're going to trade blows all game, body blows the whole game. We'll get to the middle eight right before the half, and then come out of the half and try to win that, play hard, and then get to the fourth quarter, and to me, the whole new game begins. And then you get to the final 5 minutes, and it's like NBA basketball. Like, wake me up when there's 5 minutes left on the clock, and I'll come watch.
For The Zone, I'm Matt McMaster.
The Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Attention all you Husker football fans. This season, get ready to cheer on your Huskers like never before. Tickets for Less is offering an exclusive deal that'll have you jumping out of your seat. Use the promo code THEZONE and save big on Husker tickets for every game, home and away. From the electrifying home opener to intense conference matchups, Tickets for Less has you covered. Don't miss a single moment of the gridiron action. Visit ticketsforless.com today. Use promo code THEZONE and secure your seat to witness the Huskers live on the field this season. Hurry, this offer won't last forever.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is $50 worth of vouchers to Le Voltaire French Restaurant for only $25. Le Voltaire Pepperwood Village is a locally owned, unpretentious French restaurant serving down-home cooking with an extensive wine list and great handcrafted cocktails for decades. Whether dining with friends, clients, or that special someone, Le Voltaire will make you feel right at home.
Zone Deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Tailgate parties call for burgers, brats, dogs, and whatever else you could slap on a bun. But those burgers, brats, dogs, and whatever else deserve the best buns. And the best buns come from Rotella's Italian Bakery. Crazy fresh, crazy delicious. So for your next party, pick some up at the bakery off 108th and Harrison or at your favorite grocery store. Fire up your grill and get ready for kickoff. Rotella's Italian Bakery, more than 100 years of tradition. Hey, can I get a burger with some cheese, lettuce, and tomato? Thanks.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees. The Source. By your mom's house.
Now back to the Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill. Presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Breaking news.
Michael Bruntz.
The
is the second time that breaking news has happened right when I come on the show. That's a good life lesson to be learned in all this. If you're going to give somebody over $100 million, make sure they're not weird.
Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7.
All right, welcome back. We are at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and Center, getting you guys ready to go for tonight's game between Nebraska and Minnesota. Also reflecting a bit on last night. We're joined now on the 42 Degrees The Source hotline by Michael Bruntz, live from Minneapolis. Boots on the ground. Hello, Michael.
How's it going?
Great. How are you?
Not bad.
Do you have any FOMO?
From volleyball?
Yes.
I think we were the only three in the state who were not there last night. It seemed like, which is too bad. But yeah, it would have. It's too bad that they kind of had to do it so close to the opener. Would have liked to have been there, but so it goes.
What's the so it's game day, so we need a weather report. Give me your amateur weather report in Minneapolis.
It's low 70s and sunny right now. Pretty comfortable.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like football weather, but it beats the heck out of coming up here in like November.
I would imagine,
which you've done. So I think.
I certainly have. I certainly have. I remember that game in 2019 when it was sleeting, and I was like, wow, it's going to be great because it's the first week of October and I'm in Minneapolis. The weather's going to be perfect. And it was a sleet storm the entire game, and that one worked out well for Nebraska, as we remember too. All right, Bruntz. So tonight, I imagine that you're going to be joined by a lot of Nebraska fans who are currently on I-35 and maybe listening to the show right now and are beelining toward the Twin Cities. Can you feel the energy tonight for the gold out? I mean, it's going to be a gold out, and it's sold out. And the energy from Nebraska fans is carrying over from last night. Do you feel the buzz?
Not now, but it's still early. I'm also just got breakfast, and I'm not near the stadium, so that's probably the issue. That I did notice that at the in the hotel lobby this morning that it was packed with Nebraska fans. A little bit of a swagger with with some of the Nebraska fans' confidence. So I don't know what that means for the actual game itself, but as of about 8 o'clock this morning, there were some Nebraska fans that were pretty juiced up.
Yeah, the Nebraska fan swagger has routinely meant nothing, but I'm glad it's there. I'm glad it exists because I was concerned about it, because it had kind of gone away. I mean, we were just talking about this before, but like we talked all off season, there just seems to be like a real wait and see approach with the fan base, which I think is healthy for like the first time ever. And then last night I was like, nope, never mind. I'm awake and I'm going to Minneapolis with all my friends. Pack up the Tahoe.
Yeah, no, I think I don't know. I think people are still kind of taking a wait and see. And this game's interesting too because just reading like the local coverage of Minnesota, obviously PJ Fleck is a known thing up here, and they've had a measure of success over the last few years. It feels like there's a lot of question marks around this Minnesota team too. I mean, I think sometimes with Nebraska football, you get such a tunnel about every little minute detail, and you sometimes forget that, oh, by the way, there's programs around the country that have a ton of transfers, a ton of question marks, coaching turnover in the assistant ranks and stuff like that. And I think Minnesota is kind of in that boat too. I mean, not to the degree that Nebraska is, but I mean, you're replacing a quarterback that started for like 9 years. So that's kind of where it starts for him, and probably a little bit of a different look on defense with some of the assistants that they brought in. So there's going to be a lot of kind of getting to know you, I think, for both fan bases tonight with their own teams.
Does Nebraska need to be better on offense or defense tonight?
So I think that going in, I feel like I have more confidence in the defense and their ability to kind of hold up. I think offensively, you're going to need to kind of do the things against Minnesota that you don't that you have not consistently done against Minnesota. Play efficient football, run the ball with any kind of sustained, ability. And you just need an efficient night from Jeff Sims. And I think I'm more confident about the defense right now. And I think I'm going to be watching the offensive line a ton. If Nebraska is going to be able to get anything done on the ground, I think that's going to be a big key for tonight.
What are you most curious about from a Matt Rhule kind of football decision making standpoint? Like when because the bleep's going to hit the fan at some point. It's football. Like what are we most looking forward to as far as like a revealing decision or something that they do in the game that's going to give us a hint as to sort of what they're going to be about here?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you have, this could be the type of game where you're, going into a situation, a short 4th and 1, or, you got to get a key first down. And, what's Matt Rhule going to do? I kind of have gathered from what they've said that they're going to tend to be a little bit more aggressive. I mean, I think special teams, especially, they're going to try to get after a punt or two tonight. I think I think in their mind, that kind of sets the tone a little bit in how they're going to be and how they're going to do things. So I think those types of decision making, especially with Nebraska on offense, I think are going to be telling about kind of how they're going to do things. And as much as they say that they want to, be a 4-quarter team and be there in the 4th and win it in the 4th, I think they're also going to take their opportunities to throw some punches early in this game and try to set the tone a bit.
Michael Bruntz of Husker 24/7 is with us. I think I'll just ask you about this, I guess, and we've talked about it a lot all off season. Like if they get that opportunity, and feels like in the second half, and they need a key third down or something like that. It doesn't feel like they'll be hesitant to use whatever they think is necessary to be able to get the win tonight. I know that's sort of that seems obvious. Like you want to do everything you can to win a football game always, but they talk often about running the football conventionally and the use of Jeff Sims. Like I think if it gets into the second half and into the 4th quarter, I don't think they'll be afraid to allow Jeff Sims to go out and make some plays because he's that extra guy. I mean, what do you think we see as far as a game tonight from Sims? Maybe running the football, and then how efficient does he need to be passing it?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're going to see with them is, I mean, if you're late in the game and you're 3rd and 6, I could see them saying, okay, just go make a play. I mean, I go back to what Matt Rhule said in Indianapolis, and I thought he was pretty clear about their approach. I mean, as much as they're going to be stubborn with running the ball with the running backs, there's going to be a time where they're just, multiple times probably, where you're just going to need Jeff Sims to make a play with his feet. Like you drop back and you get 9 when it's 3rd and 6 or something like that. And I think you're going to need a few of those plays. I think also, if they're able to run the ball with the running backs and you get a little bit of that rhythm going, you're going to take your deep cracks with a deep ball or two, I think, with Sims, just to make Minnesota kind of think about things and open up the middle for the tight ends and Billy Kemp. But, I don't think you need a huge game from Sims, but I think there's going to be a small handful of moments in that game where you're going to need him to do something special, and he's going to have to do it. So, however they kind of make that happen, we'll see. But, I think, late in those games, if you're not able to just kind of salt it away with the run game, you need your best player to make a play. And for Nebraska, that's Jeff Sims.
We're talking about to Michael Bruntz here, who is a lover of tight ends and an advocate for tight ends. Does a tight end catch a touchdown tonight for Nebraska?
Yes, on the Husker 24/7 Hypecast, I believe I had Nate Morkacher catching a touchdown tonight, and I'm going to stick with that. I mean, I think this group has probably been maybe undervalued a little bit, just based on they don't have a ton of experience, but I think they've got talent and some guys that they feel comfortable with in that group, especially when you factor Janarian Bonner as a tight end. So, if they can at least make Minnesota have to think about the deep ball, I think there's going to be some throws that Jeff Sims is going to be able to make to the middle of the field of those guys. So, I say it cautiously because I feel like with every new coaching staff that's come to Nebraska, it's been, okay, the tight ends are going to be part of the offense, and then they're on the milk carton for most of the season. But I think based on Marcus Satterfield's history, they're going to try to do something there.
Final score prediction, Bruntz?
25-22 Minnesota.
Well, maybe as we get closer and closer to game time, it'll flip for you.
This is the first of many coin flip games, and it's the only reason I'm saying that is because it's just a little bit of proof of concept. Kind of need to see it. Fool me 18 times. Shame on me, I guess. But yeah, I think it's going to be a competitive four quarter game, and we'll see if Nebraska can prove me wrong.
I'm with you, Bruntz. Enjoy the Twin Cities and have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Michael Bruntz of Husker 24/7 live from Minneapolis. Yes, you can listen, by the way, to the 24/7 Hypecast, which they had each week. The boys from Husker 24/7, who we have on the show, BC, Bruntz, and Schaefer. They invite a guest on, an esteemed guest.
Oh, who is this week's illustrious guest?
Well, and
kicking off the season, kicking off the Matt Rhule era, it's got to be someone big, right?
I believe 3 out of the last 4 years. I'm not sure what happened one of the years that I was invited to do the very first game of the 24/7 Hypecast.
Wow.
So that is out right now for your consumption. But stay here and then listen to that later.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere. This is live.
That's exactly right. So if you want to get hype, if you got a couple minutes today, you can listen to that as well. All right, we'll take a quick break. Josh has the top 5. Our top 5 poll questions of the month of August.
Yes, sir.
As we said, nonstop bangers only today here on the Connor Happer Show, live from Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill at 173rd and Center, right here on 1620 The Zone.
The Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Kathy Knoyer with Knoyer Garden Center. The beauty of fall is in our greenhouses, featuring a variety of Knoyer-grown fall product that will allow you to create a gorgeous fall container or arrangement. Come join us for our fall open house September 2nd and 3rd and enjoy snacks and refreshments. Whether it's home decor, fall annuals, perennials, or shrubs, we will help you beautify your home. Located between Highway 370 and Cornhusker on 66th Street in Papillion.
At Knoyer Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
Open daily, 10 to 6.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The celebration! One of the most beloved comedians on earth, Dave Chappelle, is hitting the road with a tour celebrating his birthday with you.
September 18th at CHI Health Center.
You know who he is. You know what he does. Comedic genius Dave Chappelle. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. What a great birthday.
Celebration, make it!
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
Everyone knows about Taco Tuesday, right? But why limit it to just one day? Rusty Taco has the solution. And the best part is they'll even bring the flavor to you. With a full-service catering team, Rusty Taco can handle whatever your order is and bring it wherever you are. Whether your plan is watching the Huskers with an at-home taco bar or enough queso for 100 of your closest friends, you can find your location at rustytaco.com. Just click the catering tab to start your party or stop in for the margarita flights and happy hour specials. rustytaco.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Now back to the Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill. Presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back, Connor Happer and Josh Hudson with you from Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill. We are getting ready for the Red Out Lunch, which is just in a little bit over an hour, where Gary, Nick, John, Josh, me, Josh, Jimmy's even here. I assume Nick Grimm.
Yes, young Nick will be around.
We'll be here. We're all here, and it's the Red Out Lunch presented by Union Bank and Trust. It Union Bank and Trust. Your money has people. All right, one of my
producers are. You guys talk, and we will indulge ourselves in some fine wings.
Oh, do you want to do a producer only segment so we can eat some chicken wings as well?
That's actually a really good idea.
We could do that. We just let the producers cook for about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
you guys got takes to get off.
Oh yeah, I got takes.
All right,
you're gonna hear them.
I'm on board with this. Good idea.
Okay, Peterman wants to get a take in.
Oh, Peterman.
I so badly wish I could have a wing. I love Oscar's wings.
We might be able to find a way to deliver you a chicken
wing singular
of some sort. By the way, Peter is he's got the red shirt on for Red Out Day.
Yeah,
very nice. He's the only one rocking a Nebraska polo today. You can't see what I'm wearing because I am simply a silhouette, but
it's classy. It's
classy.
Oh, there we go. I see your face.
1620 The Zone. Yeah. All right.
The Oscars boys.
The Oscars boys. A night at the Oscars. Here we are. One of my favorite segments of the month. We look back on our month of poll questions, and Josh picks out his favorite 5, and we deliver them to you. Jacob Padilla is going to join us here in just a few minutes. We'll talk about Volleyball Day from last night, and then, of course, the Red Out Lunch begins officially at noon, but unofficially probably a little before that and goes on a little bit after that. All right, Josh, number 5.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
This comes to us from Thursday, August 10th. And at first glance, it might not be the funniest poll question you've ever read, but if you think about it,
Now, you don't usually think about poll questions.
Right. It's not a thinker. Those aren't the ones we're going for, but this one is. Would Air Force be a better hockey team if they recruited Canada?
Well, it's true. If you really think about it, it really is pretty funny.
Yes. 84% of the audience said yes.
I wish I could remember the context in which a lot of these came up, but
I think Nick said this during a crossover in the morning one time. And we were like, really? Really?
Just randomly?
Well, I believe we were talking about hockey we were
talking hockey.
Recruiting the service academies.
Oh, okay.
And it came up.
Oh, because Paul Skeens, I remember. So I said because Paul Skeens had just got drafted number 1 overall, and now he's in AA and dating Livy Dunn. So what a glow up for him. And a year ago, he was a cadet.
Yes.
I saw a picture of him the other day standing for a national anthem, and he was like standing at attention,
Sure.
I'm like, man, I really forgot about that.
It's muscle memory for him at this point.
Really,
I'm sure.
I'm sure it is. Good one. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Number 4, please.
Number 4.
We normally don't have thinkers on the top 5 poll questions of the month. We also don't normally have good poll questions on the top 5 poll questions.
Oh, like
of the month.
like actually you want to answer this?
Yeah, like, what is the correct answer to that? Normally it's pretty obvious. This comes from August 22nd. Can you remember all the way back on August 22nd? Which takes more luck? Julio Rodriguez reaching base in 17 consecutive at-bats, or Sister Jean living to 104?
Mm-hmm. And what was the answer?
The audience went with Sister Jean, 58%.
I guess I disagree.
I do too. People have lived to 104. No human has ever reached base in 17 consecutive at bats before.
So yeah, I guess you're right. We're very proud of both.
Yes,
for having these fantastic accomplishments.
No wrong answer, but audience, you were wrong.
Well, it's a little bit of a thinker there. I think I voted Julio, but I have, it's very impressive what Sister Jean has done, avoiding death so many times, and 104 years old.
Julio Rodriguez didn't throw out a first pitch at Wrigley.
That's true.
Did you see that over the weekend?
That is true. Sister Jean, she's still going strong.
Yeah, living it up. Number 3.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Top 5 poll questions from the month of August. Number 3. Is O.J. Simpson one of the worst self-scouters we've ever had in human history? This was the most lopsided poll question of the day on Thursday, August 10th.
Yeah.
87.5% of the audience said yes, OJ is in fact one of the worst self-scouters we've ever had in human history.
He doesn't seem to understand the concept of like time and place, things like that. When he will throw out a take, you will oftentimes think of it in the light of, hey, this guy murdered some people, so it comes off a little bit different when that's the case.
We asked the question because, and his name escapes me, the Raiders receiver who crashed his car at a high speed.
Henry Ruggs.
Yes. Killed the lady and her dog. OJ delivered a video tweet where he was outraged that the Ruggs only got 10 years in jail because he committed armed robbery and got 10 years.
Bad self-scout.
Yeah.
Another bad self-scout by OJ.
I understand it's an NFL topic and you find yourself discussing the NFL a lot on your Twitter account, but maybe you just sit that one out.
I don't think that OJ Simpson has really the right to be outraged about people not getting enough jail time. I just personal opinion.
Quite possibly the last person that should be getting upset.
Yeah.
Good one. Good one. I like that one.
Number 2.
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
I think Connor's going to be shocked that this is not number 1.
All right. Because I have no idea what's coming.
Yeah, because you forget him the second the show's over.
Correct.
Or even the segment most time. It is the most voted on poll question from August 22nd. It is also the most lopsided poll question from August 22nd. And it reads as follows. What would you rather have? A sandwich or a Shedeur Sanders Heisman ticket. Sorry, Josh.
I am shocked that that's not number one. That was my personal favorite because, I mean, seriously, what would you rather spend $10 on? Would you rather have a sandwich, or would you rather have the possibility to get, I believe it was $10,000
that was the number,
on a
yes.
$10 Heisman ticket for Shedeur Sanders? And I would say, let me just take the one that's right in front of me, and that's the sandwich. I'm gonna. That's a better way to spend my $10.
94% of the audience said a sandwich.
Well, I mean,
I'd like to talk
yeah,
to
Josh.
6%.
Sorry, Buff Josh is here. He's like, what the hell, man?
Oh, come on, guys.
But there is a lot of people nationwide who are like, I'm going to throw my money away. I will bet on all of these Colorado things. Let's bet on Colorado to win the national championship. Sounds good.
What if it happens?
I would just rather come to Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill and spend your money on some delicious chicken wings instead of buying that Shedeur Sanders Heisman ticket.
They're beginning to file in here at Oscars.
Right at 11.
Right
Here
at
they
11.
come.
They were waiting for it.
Yep.
Okay, that leads us to number one. The best poll question from the month of August. There were many good ones. We even set a record for most lopsided poll question of the year.
Number one.
Number one.
97.7% of the audience said yes, they did know that James Earl Jones voiced Darth Vader. That's not the poll question that lands at number one. August 3rd, going all the way back here. Have you ever pulled on the door of Fuddruckers only to realize that the restaurant has been closed for many, many years? A topic we often bring up during the crossover for some reason.
But nobody wants to buy the space.
No, yeah, nobody wants to buy the space. It's
No,
just
but
sitting
people
there vacant.
routinely go up there and they're like, is this place open? Because there's always cars in the parking lot.
Parking lot's packed. This place must be jamming.
A few months ago, my family and I were trying to decide where to eat dinner. I'm like, what about Fuddruckers? And they're like, I think that's been closed for years. I'm like, are we sure? And I gave
So
it.
did you go up to it and pull on the door?
I gave it the tug test on the front door and looked in. I'm like, this is definitely not open.
I did this about a little less than 2 years ago. A little less than 2 years ago. What were the results on this?
78% of the audience said no. They have not pulled on the door of Fuddruckers only to realize that the restaurant has been closed for many, many years.
So I guess we have a loud minority here.
Yes, it appears that way.
Many people have done this.
Or maybe they've not done it because we've given them the great advice that Fuddruckers is closed.
Yeah, we need to keep getting the word out. We should put like a 5-second little PSA in every commercial break. By the way, Fuddruckers is closed.
Is closed. Don't pull that door. You're going to look stupid.
All the signage is there. It's not open.
Yeah.
But it's like I even think sometimes it's lit up.
Yeah. Who's paying that light bill? Aren't we
can't let the light go
revitalizing
out.
that intersection?
It's like the bat signal just for closed burger joints.
Good one. I like that. I like the top two for sure.
Yeah.
Those may be all timers.
It was a good month.
Those are the top 5 poll questions of the month of August. We hope to bring you a lot more just like that in the month of September and beyond.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Connor Happer and Josh Hudson with you here from Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill at 173rd and Center. By the way, Oscar's has $7 burgers and fries until 3 o'clock. Hello.
What?
Yeah. Did you? So you could save $3 extra, not buy the Shedeur Sanders Heisman ticket, and get a burger and fries and still have $3. If you would like to put it on Shedeur Sanders to win the Heisman, it still pays out at 10,000 to 1 if that's how you want to spend your $10. Drop on by here at Oscar's at 173rd and Center. Great deals going on all day, and we'll take you all the way up until 7 tonight. When Nebraska kicks off against Minnesota. The Red Out Lunch is in an hour, and it's presented by Union Bank and Trust. At Union Bank and Trust, your money has people. We will return with Jacob Padilla of HillVarsity.com. There was a big event last night in Lincoln. We've talked about it a little bit already. Jacob was courtside. How was the view?
Yeah.
How was the view? That may be the first thing on the docket for Jacob when we return next on 1620 The Zone. But first, get ready for the NFL season. It's not just college football season. The NFL season is coming up next week with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube. and YouTube TV. Now's the best time to join FanDuel. The app is always easy to use, and you can bet on anything, point spreads, player props, Shedeur Sanders Heisman tickets if you'd like, and anything in between. So visit FanDuel.com/Happer and kick off the NFL season with an offer that you don't want to miss, as I do, and you should as well. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit is required. Bonus issued is now withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem, call 1-800-BETS-OFF. NFL Sunday ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
The Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is always looking to make your game day bigger and better. Cheer on your favorite team this season in front of a 22-foot LED video wall showing up to 8 games at once. TVs are everywhere else you can look with a state-of-the-art audio and video system. Enjoy a big old pizza or award-winning char-buffed wings. There's just no better way to do your game day. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road. And for takeout at 162nd and Maple.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Welcome to 1620 The Zone's Red Out Week, presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people. Head to Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill today for our 1620 The Zone Red Out Week lunch. The Connor Happer Show and Unsportsmanlike Conduct will be broadcasting live. And at noon during the Connor Happer Show, all our hosts will be together for a 1620 The Zone roundtable unlike anything you've heard before. It's Red Out Week on 1620 The Zone, presented by Union Bank and Trust. At Union Bank and Trust, your money has people. Visit UBT.com to find out more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either a Dave's single, spicy chicken sandwich, medium frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a frosty.
sandwich,
Dave's single and a frosty for me.
and a frosty. Okay, who said frosty and a frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with a combo or any other offer.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Let us talk about the 3 most surprising things about modern LASIK at Kugler Vision. The first, how fast that LASIK procedure is. With Kugler Vision's leading-edge technology, we're talking just a few minutes per eye. Incredibly speedy. And how about this for number 2? How comfortable the procedure is. So often from their patients, they hear, wait, that's it? It's over? They make sure that you are relaxed and comfortable, as well as knowing exactly what is happening. And this for number 3, how quickly you can get back to normal life. Patients typically drive themselves to Kugler Vision the very next day for their follow-up visit. So you're back in action less than 24 hours later. Kugler Vision right now, they have special pre-summer savings on modern LASIK or any of their other advanced vision correction procedures. If you've ever thought about fixing your bad vision, the Kugler Vision Eye Analysis is your first step. Do so today. Schedule one online at KuglerVision.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Attention sales professionals. NRG Media is looking for an accomplished business-to-business salesperson who wants to take their success and skills to a new level. Is this you? Our account executives work with local businesses to create marketing plans to help them get more customers. On air, digital, on-site, audio, video, it's all part of what you can sell. A sales career with NRG lets you make a real difference. Get more info and apply online at nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Sunday morning is all about church, eggs, and the Sunday paper. But right next to church, it's made for hot takes and reactions. Severe Reactions. Michael Severe is back on 1620 The Zone with Severe Reaction. Sundays 8 to 10, and he doesn't hold back on what went right and what went wrong on Saturday. He'll also take a call from the most important voice of all, yours. Severe Reaction, Sunday mornings 8 to 10, powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Nebraska Medicine. Home is where the health is on 1620 The Zone.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
And now, the only cure for our basketball Jones. Hail Varsity's Jacob Padilla on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone, baby.
And we welcome in on the 42 Degrees, the Source Hotline, our friend Jacob Padilla of HailVarsity.com. Jacob, good morning. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing pretty well, Connor. Yesterday was pretty awesome.
Yeah. I tried to. So I was sitting up in like the east balcony, and I think I spotted you, even though you look like just a speck of dirt. But like I think I saw you down there. How? Just from your vantage point, what was like the big takeaway, the preemptive thought from last night?
Yeah, I guess one of the things, just how effective it was, like how just putting volleyball on a pedestal, putting women's sports on a pedestal. You see just the reactions from all across the country of the people that tuned in, that saw the social media posts about it, that were following from afar. You saw some of the people that were there, and then I was. Obviously, I was kind of like you, like Nebraska initially, like they had to expand ticket sales, and because they like, oh dang, people are actually going to do this. But the thing that I was worried about just was the kind of the resellers, and I looked. It still seemed like there were a good number of tickets available at obscene prices on the ticket website on Tuesday. So I was just worried about that, like. When it was coming down to, they broke the record by hundreds. It wasn't like they blew it away. So it was like, that was kind of my worry going into it in terms of actually like going all the way and breaking everything. I knew they'd get close, but just worried about the last few hundred just because of the people that snapped up tickets to resell them and try to make a huge profit. But they made it work. Hopefully some of those prices fell day of, and people were able to buy them up and get those seats. And it was pretty cool too, just seeing the lead up and seeing all the high schools share, the high school team share like that they were going to be there, and those that like had matches or weren't able to go, like were still kind of like taking part, using the hashtag, like showing their support. Just kind of the way this all came together, and that moment when they announced that they had actually done it, kind of the reaction in the stadium, and hearing Andy Jackson talk about the team coming out of the tunnel as they were announcing it, and just taking that moment. Like the good thing they went with the extended. They were given permission to go with an extended intermission between the two sets, so they were able to both kind of take in the moment and get back ready to play. So yeah, I mean, the weather was great, a little bit of wind, and that obviously impacted the play on the court, particularly for Omaha, with Nebraska being more used to playing outdoors. But this wasn't about the actual game on court play itself. This is just about the kind of putting volleyball itself and the fan support shows out there and showing what's possible.
How would you sort of describe John? Well, I mean, John Cook has been sort of an evolution for him, just as far as this event is concerned. Like, I think he had to be sort of convinced that, you know, they could do it, that they could pull it off, and has always been sort of reluctant to move his team out of the Devaney Center. He loves the home court advantage that they get there, and to do it this big, and then it just looked like the emotion was just, you know, crushing him last night when he gets up and he does a speech and he talks with Larry Putney on the Big Ten Network. Like, I mean, just that night for him, I thought that made it like worth it. It in the situation that it was, where it felt like it was just a celebration of volleyball and like a thank you to John Cook. It felt like that really hit him pretty hard.
Yeah, I think the only person that cried more than John did yesterday was our friend Amy Just from the Lincoln Journal-Star.
Yeah. Yeah.
John talked about, like, just there's so many different things that happened throughout the day that just got caught up in the emotions of, like, seeing Brianna Holman, giving her a hug. Brianna, he hadn't seen her since she left, been playing overseas. And so to have someone like her come back for this, and then I kind of used it in lead in my story, just Kennedy Orr, who junior put in a lot of time into a lot of this program, obviously not starting now. She wrote notes to each of her teammates and coaches day up, just kind of like show us support, just getting everybody fired up and encouraged for the match, and talk about, hey, today we're going to make the impossible possible. And Cook said he teared up reading that. And then obviously at the rally, I wasn't there, but saw the rally at the Coliseum event, and the little girl with Beck Alec, and that whole that whole moment, you see basically everybody on the team was crying. So it just kind of shows how much this means to them and how much they put into this sport, into this program, and to have it recognized like this, have all that hard work recognized, and the years and the decades of building up this program, and turning this into the most supported program in the country for this sport. I think all of those emotions kind of came to a head for him, and was able to get through the day. But yeah, certainly didn't do it without some tears.
This is often a theme that I've talked about with Nebraska volleyball players, like and they have, you know, an increasingly sort of younger team. I think that's the way. You know, high recruits who come in and they are ready to play right away. It sort of starts to take on that feeling of like Ohio State football. You lose people, and then you replace, and then they play a couple of years, and then they're gone. It feels a little bit more like that. I'm always amazed, and it was put to the ultimate test last night, how the players specifically handle themselves in a situation that is just totally and completely unprecedented. You know, like we have. You know, there's no script for that. And I thought they did. I watched as closely as I could. You were closer. Like, they could handle the emotion, but also at the same time, after a couple points right off the bat, we're settling in, we're playing volleyball, while at the same time still having this understanding of, like, this is way bigger than just one game. Like, that is a thing that permeates through that program and never stops impressing me.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's what Cook mentioned. It's like, hey, they handled this whole thing, like everything involved. I mean, that was a really long day with the rally and interviews throughout the day, and waiting for their chance to get out there. Obviously, the first match beforehand. I know Harper Murray came out for a little bit and was sitting in the bleachers watching a little bit of the first match and just kind of taking in the environment as people continue to flood into the stadium, and just come out and get the job done, and to stay locked in. Even again, it wasn't particularly pretty volleyball, but defensively they were really good. They got a lot of people got a chance to play, and they got the win. And so I think everything went about as well as they could have hoped for it, and the players handled it, handled an unprecedented situation with flying colors.
I was going to say, did you learn anything from like a volleyball perspective? I imagine that none of the questions post game were about like, hey, where's this team at right now? But is there anything to be taken away from that side of the table?
Yeah, not really. The one kind of noteworthy thing was that neither Kennedy or Nora Carolyn Jurevicius played, and they hadn't played yet. They didn't play at all last weekend either. Wasn't going to ask about that in the post game because again, that's not what this was about. But that's probably a question for practice. Is like what's the plan for them? Cook said that he wasn't going to redshirt anybody during the before the first match on the radio, but that could be his plan. Obviously, redshirt is a two-way street, and could it be a situation where the players decided, hey, unless an injury situation happens where you need us to play a real role, like we'd rather not just go in and play a couple of points at the end of a match. We'll see. We can ask about that, but in terms of actual on-court play, not really. I guess it was noteworthy that he went with the same starting lineup as the last match, where the middles were Becca Alec and Andy Jackson, and Lindsey Krause was the second outside hitter. So those are kind of the spots that we've seen the most rotation, and he went with that group for the 2 matches in a row. So I guess that's kind of the group that we're going to expect to see until something changes there to start these matches. Obviously, if in-match performance dictates a change, Cook's not afraid to do that, and he has the options. But, yeah, in terms of just actual on-court play, there wasn't a lot to take out of it. It's just a matter of the biggest question facing them right now is offensively, can they get going? Can they terminate better? But Wednesday was not an opportunity to answer that question.
What do you think about tonight? What are the keys and what are you looking for?
I just want to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
How different is it from last year? What kind of change were they able to make with the different coaching staff, with the key additions in certain spots, and with the large number of returning players? My pick, I went with Minnesota by a touchdown just because I have to see it out there. Actually, I like the direction, I like everything we've heard. But in game 1, I have to go out and see it before I pick them to pull off an upset. So there's just so many questions about how the offense is going to come together. Can the defensive front hold up? How did these safeties look? We've heard great things about Omar Brown and Deshaun Singleton, but they couldn't really get on the field last year. And when they did, it didn't look great. So there's just so many questions about this team that I just want to sit down, watch, see it all play out, and then kind of react afterwards. Okay, this is I had concerns here. They look like they're answering those concerns, or nope, same old problems. So that's the key to the game is not having the same old problem. Basically, you need your offensive tackles to hold up. You need to find some way to not rely on the quarterback run game as your only way of moving the ball. You need to take care of the ball and not lose the turnover battle like you've done basically for the last decade consecutively. So just all the little things that cost them last year, they got to show that, hey, they've improved on those, and then hope the kind of newcomers elevate the talent level and kind of push them over the top. Because we saw last year how many close games they were in, and that they weren't necessarily as bad as their record was, and some of the losses they had, they weren't a complete. They weren't incapable of going out and playing winning football. They just couldn't put it together fully. So that's kind of where you're starting from, and we'll have to see if they did enough to get over that hump that they couldn't climb over last year under the previous staff.
Totally with you. How different does it look tonight? Right away is a big deal. Jacob Padilla, FailVarsity.com. All right, Jacob, we'll let you go, man. Appreciate the time. Congratulations on some great coverage of a great event and a great team. We appreciate it as always. Talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
Jacob Padilla. Jacob knows the ins and outs of volleyball, so I was happy for him to get the courtside seat last night and continue to provide really good coverage. And then on football, how does it look tonight? How much differently does it look tonight? Right away if it does or when it does, that'll be a pretty strong testament to what Matt Rhule has done so far in his 9 months here. We will touch a little bit more on that topic and plenty more as we continue on. The Connor Happer Show is live at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, where, guess what? Once again, I've been informed. A little birdie has told me $7 burgers and fries until 3 o'clock tonight, or till 3 o'clock this afternoon. So that's a pretty solid deal. 173rd and Center, come out and see us. We're already packing them in. I see some folks already with the plate of wings down. Keep them coming. Just keep them coming. From Oscars here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
The Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley.
The best programs that have the best bond between players, the way you recruited that kid when he was a junior or senior in high school, and the way you treated him and got to know him is the same when he gets on campus, and he's not just a number. Exactly. He's still that same person that you were in mama's front room eating dinner and trying to woo mom and dad or whoever that they could trust you with their son. You develop about a 6-year relationship and then hopefully a relationship for life as a coach.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny, comfortable, and breezy for your Thursday afternoon with improving smoke and haze. A high this afternoon in Omaha of 84 degrees with southeasterly winds up to 20 miles an hour. Skies staying clear tonight, full moon still visible, breezy and mild again with a low of 64. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the roofery.
When it's time to replace or repair storm damage, make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the local, trusted, and proven choice. No one has installed more Da Vinci roofs, and there's a reason why John Higgins Weather Guard is the nation's leader. Community member, community supporter. Make the right call.
John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the rooferys. Make the right call.
Whether you are looking for your first new vehicle or looking to upgrade, make sure you visit Woodhouse Chevy in Omaha and Missouri Valley. The all-new Trax features both affordability and technology with prices starting at under $22,000. And coming soon, the all-new bold, aggressive look of the Chevy Traverse. See our entire selection at woodhouse.com and schedule a test drive at your convenience. Find a new vehicle that exceeds your expectations and find new roads to Woodhouse Chevy. Exit 75 off I-29 Missouri Valley or 112th and Dodge in Omaha. And always at your fingertips at woodhouse.com.
Happy birthday to us. That's right. We're turning 50 this year, and we're celebrating with you. Introducing my new birthday cake streusel, topped with vanilla cake and crunchy streusel, a swirl of white icing, and showered with rainbow sprinkles. Paired with our classic combo, the one that started it all, and your favorite one-topping pizza. Happy birthday feast. Enjoy one today. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Let It Fly Sports Bar is now open in the Capital District in downtown Omaha. Let It Fly Sports Bar is excited to introduce you to a unique twist on food, drinks, and sports, while raising the sports bar dining experience with a new high-end design and incredible food. Our 12,000 square foot sports bar includes 2 floors and a live glass-enclosed studio featuring the Let It Fly show and 80 TVs. If you want high energy, entertaining environment while dining, Let It Fly Sports Bar is the spot for you. Now open.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack.
You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Now back to the Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill. Presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and Center. They are filing in. They are ready for the show. Red Out Lunch is in a half hour. And, I mean, Josh still has to bring you the odd news before that, of course. But we're rolling in here from Oscar's. Come on out. Enjoy some wings. That would be my preference. So you can get a burger. You can get pizza. Anything you'd like here at Oscar's, they will get you going. As people, I mean, I see some red polos, little game day attire going on here, which is always good to see. The lunch itself, the noon hour, is presented by Union Bank and Trust. So Union Bank and Trust, your money has people. Gary, Nick, me, and John and Josh will all be here, and we'll be wrapping it, putting a bow on the off season, and then talking about what needs to happen tonight. We will do this ourselves. We'll have our keys to victory a little bit later on. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing about today. I actually I was thinking about this morning. Nebraska starts on a Thursday, and there's a couple big college football games tonight. Florida and Utah is the other big one, and then this one with Nebraska and Minnesota. But we also still get tomorrow to kind of talk about the weekend. So tomorrow is about what happened last night, and then about the weekend in college football as well. And this one is all about Big Red tonight. I don't think, unless Josh has any takes on Florida and Utah.
Cam Rising, important.
He's out.
He's out.
He's not playing.
Yeah, that's important.
Okay. Oh, so it sounds like you're a Florida guy.
I don't know.
You're chomping.
First game outside of Florida since 81
that
or
is
something
crazy.
like that?
That is a crazy statistic. I saw that yesterday. First true road game non-con outside of Florida in that long.
Correct. Non-con. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
Crazy.
it's still pretty ridiculous. Oh, there. Oh, did you get a haircut? Gary Sharp is looking good. He needs a microphone. Get this man a microphone.
Oh, there's plenty.
And some chicken wings.
Some of that one doesn't work. That one's not plugged into anything yet.
Gary started talking into something that doesn't exist.
I got a question about Nebraska football.
Yeah, we should just bring listeners up.
We take questions.
Yeah, pretty right.
What could go wrong? That's why you bring Gary Sharp to
this
an
is
event
like the
this.
live version of taking calls, where we just nobody said anything.
How long until Gary's asked to leave Oscars?
That is a possibility. Gary might be removed from Oscars here shortly.
Which might have been his plan the whole time. I will walk in, get kicked out, and then I'm free to go about my day.
Walk in,
which
eat
apparently
a wing,
included a
cause
haircut already.
disturbance.
We told you that this might happen. Gary might come in and just just throw things off the rails. Oh, look, we do have a listener question.
Ooh,
this is exciting. Hello, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Kaylee.
Hi, Kaylee.
Hi, Kaylee.
What do you have?
How does Wi-Fi work?
Wow.
Gary,
I was ready for a lot of questions.
Gary put her up to that. Waves and
satellites, towers.
We're experts on this.
Cell
as you can
signal.
tell.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wireless
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah. Just it just does.
Mm-hmm.
We just press a little button and then it just goes. It's amazing. It's working for me right now perfectly at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill.
Yeah.
Is that what you're what have you been serving the most of today, by the way?
I'm not a server, I'm a hostess.
A hostess, okay.
What have you been hosting the most today?
Parties.
Parties?
Yeah.
That's good. Well, Thanks for asking your question. I'm
Yeah.
sorry we couldn't give you a more laid out
That's okay.
answer.
I'll go Google it or something.
Thank you. It's very important that we get that question answered today. Yeah, you could just throw that down. That's
I mean, not literally throw it down.
Yeah, but close.
Perfect.
Close to it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, well done. Thank
Kaylee,
you.
everybody.
Thank
Come
you.
say hi to her at Oscars.
Thank you, Kaylee. Appreciate it. She's been hosting a lot of
Yes.
parties, hosting a lot of things.
Yes.
Today.
Groups of 2, 3, 4. This looks like a group of like 8 or 12 down there in the corner.
Everybody's here, man. This is where you need to be.
I took the proverbial lap.
Did you?
In between the last 2 segments, and a lot of people talking volleyball still.
So I got a question for you, Josh. We're going
Yes.
to produce a show live on the air here.
Please do.
So the odd news is coming up, but we
is.
do have an odd news story that transcends the odd news.
It does.
So is this the right time for it?
Yes. Let's go with that.
All right. So let me just give you the background of how I experienced this last night.
Okay.
I was at the volleyball game, therefore I did not have use of my phone for
Sure.
basically the entire game. I did take many pictures of the volleyball court, many pictures.
Good. I didn't see it from anywhere else.
Many pictures, and then I even took a picture of the moon, which Nick Grimm requested.
That's right.
And I didn't see until a lot later on because I was in the East Stadium and I physically couldn't see the moon. So I got those. Those are well documented. If anybody wants those, I'll just, I can send them your way. That's for sure. Yeah, we got the moon and we got the stadium, which is good. But I didn't have access to any life outside of the stadium until I walked out. And when I walked out, by the way, which is exactly when the Scotty McCreery concert started.
Just want to be crystal clear about that.
Sorry, Scotty. I love you. I miss you.
How long from end of volleyball game to start of concert was it?
That's actually a good question because I wasn't there by the time Scotty was on. I did hear him as I was walking out. It could have been more than from end of volleyball game because they still did a light show and Cook talked and they did some celebratory stuff. Which, by the way, the drone show,
drone light
so they
show
did
was cool.
fireworks and the drones, which said 92,003. Spelled out 92,003 with drones, which was amazing.
Looked really cool on the BTN broadcast.
It's probably like I'm gonna just comfortably say like 25 to 30 minutes, probably.
Okay, that's not bad.
And it held. A lot of people stayed. A lot of people stayed for the concert.
Looked like it on TV.
That was the thing. If the time gap was too big, people would just start filing out.
Yeah, and personally, I did not care about the time gap at all. I was just like, I'm gonna.
I've seen what
I'm
I need
gonna
to
leave.
see.
I got a big day tomorrow. We're gonna be up until 1:00 doing a big red overreaction.
Josh time.
It's gonna be right in the heart of Josh time.
The witching
or maybe Matt Rhule will run the ball so much that the show will start at 9:30 and we could be out of there by before midnight.
I would be okay with that for the record.
That would be.
We
amazing.
do have the new clock rules.
So that's true.
That's right.
It's gonna be Matt Rhule time basically because he loves that idea.
I know you're gonna tonight. You're gonna want to tweet. Why? They didn't stop the clock. They didn't stop the clock. Don't be that guy.
They don't need to stop the clock. They'll tell you a lot of times on the broadcast when you're watching. Okay, so I walked out of the stadium. Then I finally regained access to my cell phone, and I immediately saw this story just plastered all over my timeline.
Yes.
From our friends at News Channel Nebraska, Norfolk police pull over man with bull riding shotgun, and this is not just a bull. This is a ginormous bull, a ginormous animal named. By the way, we do have a name for this. Howdy Doody. Howdy Doody was
so much of this sounds made up.
Was riding shotgun. I'm just going to read you the story verbatim.
Okay.
From our friends at News Channel Nebraska. Around 10 a.m., Norfolk Police Division responded to a call of a man driving eastbound on 275 with a Watusi bull in his passenger seat. Quote, the officers received the call referencing a car driving into town that had a cow in it, said Police Captain Chad Ryman. They thought that it was going to be a calf, something small or something that would actually fit inside the vehicle, end quote. And then the vehicle was big enough, technically. The bull was much too large, actually, and it poked out of the front windshield. I'm not even sure the contraption of how they got this bull into this white sedan, but they were able to do so.
It looks a lot like the
Howdy
deer.
Doody. Yes, I know. Oh, yes, we're aware. We're aware of
it.
The
Looks like the deer in Tommy Boy.
It does. It really does. Oh, look, Gary has another comment. We'll hear from listener Gary at this point. Hi, Gary.
Okay, so I'm just coming in late to this conversation, kind of like my whole life. Do you know why the cops pulled this guy over?
Because they thought that there was a small cow in the front seat.
So the guy has driven through Norfolk many times. A Karen called the police.
Yeah, somebody called.
PETA.
A concerned citizen.
PETA. But did you know? So I'm learning more about this. I think it's disappointing that when he takes him to a parade, the bull doesn't get out of the car.
Oh, really?
The car just
drive that
drives
car
in the parade.
That's awesome. I would love to see that in real life.
Huh.
And, I would like to ask Meyer some questions about how he thought of this contraption, how he thought of this idea.
Yeah.
It's really quite intuitive.
He's like, I don't want to load it in again. We're just going to drive around with it.
But then
maybe the bull just stays there all the time.
Like when they go to clean it, does it drive through a car wash? With
car?
the bull in the car?
Well, I think the bull is a part of the car. Yes. So
the bull leaves some things on the car that's got to be removed.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it doesn't have to be removed.
I
Maybe there's a spot for that.
Is there?
I don't know.
Bull question?
This guy is really good at building stuff for this bull named Howdy Doody. So as a result, the officers performed a traffic stop and addressed some traffic violations that were occurring with that particular situation, the police chief said. The occupant of the vehicle was identified as Lee Meyer of Neely. The Watusi's bull name is Howdy Doody. Lee was immediately pulled over by Norfolk police as they performed a routine traffic stop. Quote, the officer wrote him some warnings. There were some citable issues with that situation. The officer chose to write him a warning and ask him to take the animal back home and leave the city. Meyer and Howdy Doody are on their way back home, and nobody was hurt.
All right.
This is a story for the ages, folks. This is as good as it gets. And as I believe it was Josh Pate tweeted out last night, I'm just going to steal this one from him. I mean, there would have been two more people at the volleyball game, two more things at the volleyball game, trying to make 92,005. But this guy was pulled over, unfortunately, because he was called in by a Karen in Norfolk who just simply wouldn't allow the idea of Meyer and Howdy Doody rolling through their city, who they are harming nothing and nobody.
No one.
Who are they bothering? Hurts nobody. Helps everybody.
Let Howdy Doody cook.
Exactly. Oh, Josh is a little louder, I think.
Okay, we fixed it.
Helps the economy. Hurts nobody. That's what I say about Meyer and Howdy Doody.
We don't know how much Howdy Doody gets out. This ruined it for him. His day's ruined.
I agree. What was he thinking? I don't know.
But can he now take Howdy Doody places and charge? Because now Howdy Doody is a local celebrity.
That's true. Howdy Doody is now famous.
Yeah, maybe this is good.
I'd
for
imagine free
everyone in the long
admission
run.
to all car washes.
Like I said, I would pay money just to see the car. I would like to see the car and just the contraption and then Howdy Doody. I mean, I want to see Howdy Doody, of course, as well.
I can only imagine the interior of the car looks like the car in The Hangover when the tiger wakes up and just destroys it.
Just looking around, what's going on. By the way, the picture that I'm looking at in the video of the car, it looks like a, I don't know, probably early 90s Ford Taurus or something like that. It's clearly been, designed and changed in some different ways here, but it does have a vanity plate.
Oh,
the vanity plate says, I believe, boy and dog. Which I just thought I would add that to the conversation. I'm not sure. I'd like to hear a lot more from Mr. Lee Meyer of Neely and just see what he's up to. Because if he's designing things like this on a regular basis, then I think he needs a larger platform.
Yeah, he's got philosophies about life in general, I imagine, that are pretty entertaining.
By the way, texter, thank you. I'm not good at cars. Texter from the 402 writes in, it's Crown Vic. It's a former police car from Arnold City, is what they're saying. It's a
ACPD.
They literally took a former police car and then re-engineered it to have a Watusi bull sitting in the front seat of it.
Amazing.
I mean, this is only in Nebraska, man. Two things only in Nebraska last night. 92,000 people at a volleyball game and a Watusi bull riding in the front seat of a Crown Vic.
Big night for Nebraska.
It's just a ginormous night for Nebraska. And like I said, we're going to carry this momentum. The momentum from Howdy Doody and the volleyball straight into today. And we're going to carry that momentum into a win.
Howdy Doody vibes.
I'm starting to like reconsider my prediction. Maybe there's a chance Nebraska wins tonight. Who knows? We have Howdy Doody.
Howdy Doody's on our side.
We have Howdy Doody. He's on your side. Okay, so that's basically the preamble to the odd news today. Josh will bring that to you when we return, and then right after that, we will officially begin our Red Out lunch. All the guys will be here. See Nick and Gary already. Afternoon boys are rolling in shortly. They're talking about Nebraska volleyball on every channel in this place. I mean, I think the only channel that hasn't hit it yet is MLB Network, which I wouldn't expect them to.
Which makes sense. Merritt is on SportsCenter right now talking about the world record.
Yeah, it is truly an unbelievable. Like, and by the way, what do you do when you go on SportsCenter today? You're Merritt Beeson, and you go on SportsCenter today, and they ask you, "Hey, so how was it?" And you're like, I don't know. Like, I'm still processing it right now. I can't really comprehend or understand exactly what happened,
because it was a fun moment, the tunnel walk, and then you got to focus on a game, and then afterwards you're rolling through your phone, hundreds of messages, thousands of messages or whatever. And today's probably the day where they're finally starting to wrap their heads around what happened last night.
Good question from Andy on the YouTube here. Let's
Hi,
throw
Andy.
it up. Does Howdy Doody count as a +1 to drive in a HOV lane?
Oh, absolutely. It's huge.
You need that.
Yeah.
Perhaps a
carpool lane.
+1.5.
Yeah, it's probably plus more than one, honestly. So if he took that into the city, if he took it into the big cities with the HOV lanes, they can't pull him over for that.
No.
He's carpooling.
Let Howdy Doody cook.
And I get it. Like, who wants to buy a trailer? Who wants to buy a trailer
in this economy
when you have a Crown Vic and you could just cut out the top of it and the windshield?
I have a Crown Vic. I don't need a trailer.
I don't need a trailer. Who needs that?
What? I mean, that is just
one of the best stories I've ever seen.
That is Connor Happer level confidence there.
It just so happened to come out like the as this world record volleyball thing is going on, and Nebraska is being showcased in this beautiful, beautiful light. And then we got this guy in Norfolk who's getting pulled over for having a ginormous bull in the front seat of his sedan. I love Nebraska. What a place. We'll come back. Connor Happer, Josh Hudson with you from Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and Center. Come on out and get some good deals on lunch, which would include a $7 burger and fries until 3. We'll be here until 2. Unsports Iconic will be here until 7.
7? That's kickoff time.
7 o'clock, or as they say, 7. And we'll get you going for the game tonight. Still plenty more to come. Josh has the odd news when we return on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
The Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's 2 locations in Benson and the Old Market. It's not just about getting a cone or maybe a couple of scoops. Call ahead and get your refrigerator, freezer filled with Ted and Wally's ice cream. We're talking about getting quarts or half gallons. All you have to do is call ahead and tell them that's what you want. Over 3,000 flavors, so whatever you're looking for, they have it. And if you have some special needs, if you're lactose intolerant or you're worried about keto, they'll help you as well. Over 3,000 flavors, 2 locations. Tell them Severe sent you.
It's the most time-honored tradition to start the weekend, grabbing a cold one from a local Nebraska brewery. Let's be real here. It's hot outside, and you don't want to drink the same boring beer as those Hawkeye fans. Drink icy cold, Nebraska-brewed beers, cider, or seltzers instead. Each week, we're putting the spotlight on a unique Nebraska brewery with One Beer Friday. Share your brew on social media with the hashtag One Beer Friday, and you'll be entered to win a $25 gift card to a local Nebraska brewery. Nebraska is the good life with great beer. Click nebraska.beer to learn more.
Celebrate Septemberfest Labor Day weekend outside the CHI Health Center, Lot D, September 1st through the 4th. There are games, carnival rides, and food. There's also clowns up heading to and a KCBS barbecue cook-off. Friday, there's Omaha Fight Club and epic music all weekend long. Monday, it's the Labor Day Parade through downtown Omaha at 10 a.m. along with the All-American Car Show with Candy Clark from American Graffiti. Septemberfest at the CHI Health Center, Lot D. Click septemberfestomaha.org for times and parking info.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
Turn your home
into restricted airspace. Tell incoming flights you want them diverted. The new Raid Essentials Light Trap plugs into the wall and uses light to attract, then trap flying insects like fruit flies and mosquitoes. Its 24/7 continuous attraction provides insecticide-free protection that's people and pet friendly. Consider air service interrupted. New Raid Essentials Light Trap. Insecticide-free protection.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Now back to the Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill. Presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh
Oscar's
Hudson reads the peculiar, the bizarre,
Center,
the
just a few minutes
comical,
away
the odd
from
news
our
with odd
official
song.
roundtable. Red Out
Odd
Lunch
news,
is presented by
odd
Union Bank and
song.
Trust. At Union Bank and Trust, your money has people. But a nice lead into it would be some odd news stories. We've had one big odd news story. People have already made the joke. You know, that story is a bunch of BS. It's absolutely true.
File it with the Bob Barker and onside kick jokes.
By the way, I just saw a tweet that was surfacing or showing somebody was tweeting about Bo Pelini being in Memorial Stadium last night. Is this true? Have you heard about this?
I have no idea. That's why I asked you off the air.
Jack John, can we get one of your listeners, your insiders, to confirm this? People forget that Bo Pelini was once the head coach of the football team, and somebody said that they saw Bo Pelini walking around Memorial Stadium last night. I find that very difficult to believe.
Extremely difficult to believe.
But you know what? Let's go with it. Yes.
Yes, he was there.
All right, Josh, odd news. What do we got?
We have a little update out of Alabama.
Okay.
Nick Saban making the odd news.
Bet there wasn't a bull in the front seat in Alabama.
That is correct. According to the fine journalists at AL.com, that's Alabama.com, not some guy named Al, Nick Saban has spent 3.5% of the total preseason press conference time smiling this year.
That's a great stat.
It goes on. That is more than double the percentage from any year since 2017.
Okay, two ways to look at this. Does this mean Bama is canceled? Does this mean he is done? Or does it mean we're seeing a lighter side of him and it may lead to further good play from Alabama?
Maybe.
Who knows?
It might relax the team and they are able to hit the ground running.
There are some around
season.
here who say that Alabama is on the downslope. There are some around here who say Alabama's going to win 9 games and 9 games only this year.
That's not enough.
Somebody said that.
Wow.
Now, I'm not sure if that's the case. I tend to think Alabama is one of the more talented teams in the country.
They find a way, for sure.
They usually find a way. They do have Texas right out of the gate. Game that they
Quinn.
Yeah. Well, at least they still got to go up against Big Quinn. You got the SEC title game. Is there going to be 9 wins and 3 losses in there from Alabama? Well, smiling 3% of the time, that is not going to please the Alabama fans, I don't think.
Matt Stahl, reporter, scribe, journalist at AL.com, who should win a Pulitzer, by the way, did the in-depth analysis and found the quantitative data of how much Alabama head coach Nick Saban has smiled during the preseason press conferences. That's more than double any year from 2017. The lowest percentage in the sample was in 2020. I bet you could poll anyone, and they smiled less in the year 2020 than any other year. Saban smiled just 2 times that year for a total of 28.74 seconds, less than 0.5% of the total press conference time, and 0.25 smiles per availability. This guy went in depth into it.
So he has a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Many
That's
on
awesome.
Nick Saban smiling.
He's
That's
got
the
a
kind
whole
of reporting
thesis
that
written about it.
Exactly. He's working on it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of reporting that I want to hear. Thank you, Josh, for bringing that to my attention because I haven't heard that before.
We move on to a story out of Ontario. Canada, yes. Police in Ontario called in several beekeepers for backup when 5 million bees fell off the back of a truck.
Well, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. 6:15 a.m., several boxes of bees had fallen from the back of a truck. We are not sure how or what exactly took place, but at some point, the boxes containing bees or beehives slid off the trailer and spilled all over the road, a spokesperson told a news outlet in Canada. Several local beekeepers were summoned to help gather the 5 million bees. It's important for people to understand that honeybees are fairly gentle and really don't bother people unless they are bothered.
I would say probably difficult to corral, though.
Yeah, how do you
considering
corral a bee?
They are bees. Very small.
Police said the driver of the truck was cited for driving with an insecure load.
Oh, he gets cited.
Yeah.
Our boy Lee from Neely in Norfolk only got a citation or a warning.
A warning. He said, go home right now.
You ever been stung by a bee?
I have, yes.
Oh yeah, I got stung by a bee on the head during COVID.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I was sitting outside, of course, drinking outside during. I mean, I was doing that the entire time.
What else was there to do?
And then I just all of a sudden got me right on the side of the head.
Wow.
It was actually the perfect time for it because I wasn't going to see anybody, and I was drunk, so I didn't really
it numbed the pain.
It was it was the best possible time to get stung by a bee. I was really happy about it. Actually, it's only happened one time in my life.
Potential poll
yeah, I
question:
think
what is
one.
a good time to be stung by a bee? Is there a good time?
Yeah, there's too many options. I think but maybe was COVID the perfect time to be stung by a bee? I can get that one out there.
Okay, yeah, you put that up. I'll tell you this next story because it involves movie references, so you're not going to have anything to contribute to
I have
this
no
story.
takes.
A Texas woman who lured a man to a Vegas hotel room for, let's see, we're in public, so I will say hanky-panky, and then stabbed him in the neck.
Nighttime fun?
Yeah, nighttime fun. Said in a new interview that she thought she was Salma Hayek's vampire character in the 1996 film From Dusk Till Dawn.
No way.
So the woman, she thought she was that person?
Yes, she was hallucinating, believe it or not, and she thought she was Salma Hayek from the 1996 film From Dusk Till Dawn. She said in an interview, I essentially looked in the mirror and I thought, this actress is hot, thinking I'm Salma Hayek from the Dusk Till Dawn movie.
Have you ever looked yourself in the mirror and said, I'm Selma Hayek?
Please put that one up next.
Too.
And
I'm
I
a
was
poll question guy now, I guess.
And I was hallucinating. There was a snake around my shoulders, the 23-year-old told the New York Post in an interview published Tuesday. She wrote in her freshly published autobiography that she has bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. Initially told police her motive was revenge for the U.S. missile strike that killed an Iranian terrorist in 2020. Not getting political.
No.
A judge sentenced her to 3 years of probation this month, and she agreed to plead guilty to reduce charges of false imprisonment with a deadly weapon. Police in Henderson, Nevada, arrested the woman on attempted murder and other charges, alleging she met a man on a dating app, took him to bed, blindfolded him during nighttime fun, and then stabbed him twice in the neck with a steak knife.
Yeah, twice in the knife.
The man channeled his inner Seth Gecko. That's George Clooney in the 1996 film From Dusk Till Dawn.
I appreciate that, Josh. Thank you.
He fought back and survived, so we can make fun of this story. In her post-interview, the woman said she made up the story about revenge for the Iranian terrorist because she knew that there was a bipolar character in Showtime's Homeland TV series.
People watching a lot of TV and movies,
Who
Josh.
did a similar thing. She is being treated by mental health professionals.
That's good.
Believe it or not.
That's positive.
Yeah.
Out of that, we have a couple poll questions.
Please.
They read, was April of 2020 the best time to get stung by a bee? And
certainly top 5.
Also, have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, I'm Selma Hayek?
I have not.
Also, to go along with our other 2 poll questions today, which are, did you cry? And will Matt Rhule wear a hat tonight? This is a topic that is just burning down our YouTube chat right now.
Oh, great.
Many people have thoughts on this.
I bet. I can't remember what he wore. I think he went no hat before, right?
Well, he was a hat guy for the spring game.
He was.
So
the famous hat that Connor loves.
We'll also see if they made him a smock for tonight's first game.
I have an update on that one-sleeved jacket.
Yeah, tell me about this.
We had speculated that maybe Matt Rhule was himself removing one sleeve from his Adidas jackets in an effort to, transform into the smock for game 1. That's an Adidas thing because the Iowa Western coaches have the same jacket, and it looks like a one-sleeved jacket, but it's really just a short white sleeve that, quite frankly, looks dumb.
So Adidas has decided that they're going to this year's jacket, their design feature was to remove a sleeve and make it look like it's not a sleeve.
Make it white and make it short.
Okay, great idea. Another great one from Adidas.
They're great.
We appreciate
it. Hashtag fashion.
That is the odd news. Thank you, Josh.
That
Thank you, Connor.
Salma Hayek story was the best thing I've ever heard.
A lot going on there.
Absolutely
Yeah.
no way I could have predicted the turns and twists that could be revealed.
We will come back. We're getting everything ready to go for the round table, which we're rounding up the families right now. The Red Out Lunch, which is presented by Union Bank and Trust. Union Bank and Trust, your money has people. That is coming up on the other side on the Connor Happer Show, live from Oscars at 173rd and Center, right here on 1620 The Zone.
The Red Out Lunch at Oscars Pizza and Sports Grill is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
Hey folks, is your concrete in need of repair? Kent Pavelka here to talk about your local concrete experts and a Best of Omaha winner, Everlevel Concrete Repair. They can completely restore and repair your concrete at a fraction of the price compared to replacement and offer long-term transferable warranties. I'm so glad I chose Everlevel for my driveway. There's a reason they're a Best of Omaha winner. Give them a call for your free inspection. That's Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel. Try saying that 3 times fast.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Shop amazing deals on mattresses during NFM's Labor Day sale. Get up to 55% off suggested retail on qualifying mattresses. Plus, get a free adjustable base and 2 free memory foam pillows with qualifying purchases. Right now, shop deals on Tempur-Pedic. A queen Tempur-Pedic is just $19.99. And ask about 72-month equal payment Tempur-Pedic financing on qualifying purchases. See store for details. Plus, express next day delivery. Only at NFM. Store closed Labor Day. Local metro areas. Minimum monthly payments required. 18% APR. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Creighton Sports Update. Creighton Volleyball opens their home schedule this weekend for the Blue Jay Invitational. The Blue Jays face off against Ball State on Friday night at 6 o'clock, followed by LSU at 5 on Saturday night, and we'll cap it off with Northern Iowa Sunday at 2:30. Limited tickets are available online at gocreighton.com/tickets. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
I do have a favorite child.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
My life coach has a terrible life.
Find your mattress at the Actually Really Seriously Best Sale of the Year for Real at Mattress Firm. Save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets, plus a $300 gift toward pillows and more. With fast, free delivery, the right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
We created a simple PDF that gives you everything you need to know about branding, designing, and building a website that increases revenue. Download the website playbook for free at jmonline.com. If you're considering a website project but not sure who to hire, go to jmonline.com and download the free website playbook. It's a guide to a high-performing website. That's jmonline.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer and friends, the meeting of the families here at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and Center. It is the Red Out Lunch presented by Union Bank and Trust. At Union Bank and Trust, your money has people. Josh Peterson, Gary Sharp, John Bishop, Nick Hanley. We're all here on the air at the same time.
Did you say the 5 families were here?
That's right. We're here. We're all here. Anybody want to just start talking
for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Can we drink?
Want to just start? Well, yes, we can.
I did order a beer last year, Nick. And then our boss at the time, he texted me and said, come to my office when you get to work. Now, he was joking. So I was like, wait, am I really about to get in trouble for having a little lunchtime beer?
But see, you guys got, 5 more hours of this? This is our last hour.
John and I will be here until 7 tonight.
Yeah,
so.
7.
Nice.
All right.
Whoa, Gary, back off. Back off.
Josh, we need you to turn Gary down a little bit.
My agent's not as good as your agent, Gary, apparently.
Turn Gary down.
There we go.
Oh, it sounds so much better.
Nice.
The gang's all here.
You love
That's
talking
true.
to
We
the
do have
audience.
an audience.
He went up and he got here and he was like, does anybody want to ask a question? And then we got a question. We got a question about how Wi-Fi works, which I couldn't really explain adequately.
Oh, interesting.
Turns out.
Out of everything everybody wanted to know about the football season was about the Wi-Fi.
That was the one question we got.
That kind of season.
It's been a long off season.
Connor,
I don't think
did you-
anyone has questions anymore. They just want to know what the Wi-Fi password is at Oscars.
Exactly.
The hell with a record.
Connor, did you see Mike's YouTube comment here?
Peter, man, what? Oh,
Connor looks like a parking
garage
informant.
Wow.
I got some
parking garage informant.
What a niche
interesting
deep
thing
throat
to say.
I guess I got a little deep throat going on.
Okay, that's fine.
There's a lot of light behind me. Wearing black today.
You have any information on Marcus Washington for us?
I feel like he's gonna play, right? He's gonna play. Marcus or Maurice?
Oh.
Loud Gary's back. Put the thing back on the stand.
Because he's like a stand-up comedian. I like it.
He wants. Hey. Gary and I grew up with Bob Barker. We always hold the mic.
The little
All right,
tiny stick mic.
mic.
Yeah.
I would like to request from now on that we get the old Bob Barker long stick mic. That's what I want.
And we all wear suits.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea to me. We all wear suits.
Okay, I'll wear suits as long as Barker's beauties are also with us.
Okay. Now we're cooking. We can hire them.
Come on, Gary. You remember Diane, don't you?
About to turn into old guy hour, I think.
Go ahead, guys. You guys talk about old ladies.
Yep, good. Well, they are.
I don't get it.
Was
no guardrails.
Nope.
The interaction between the males and the females was
Mad Men-esque.
Yep. Very much so.
before we had HR.
A lot of great conversation, I'm sure. A lot of great conversation.
Neil left a lot of residue behind.
Is that Neil on the line right now? 402
Neil left a lot of residue behind.
Neil wants to talk about Barker's ladies.
Nebraska starts 1-1. Which game do they win? Which game do they lose?
Lose tonight, they beat Colorado.
Yeah,
Ding, ding.
I think so. Yeah.
That's pretty easy.
Which, if they are 1-1,
you're yelling. Stop yelling.
It's kind of loud.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Keep it at that.
not which game they will win or lose, but which one you think is more important to win or lose. Considering one is a conference opponent, the other is a hated rival.
God, I still think Colorado.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the mood.
I hate to agree on that, Nick, but I think you're right.
I think it's Colorado.
I'm trying to imagine what the mood is like if they win tonight but lose next week versus the inverse. And
that would just be shocking.
Yeah, are people like angrier in that moment? I don't know.
Here we go again.
I think it'd be more disappointed.
Yeah.
On the other side, you don't have to it doesn't have to be a season killer because you're still 1-0 in conference at that point.
Yeah.
But it would be a real bummer to lose to Colorado for the third straight.
Yes, it would. Considering,
Yes.
I mean, all the trash talk that's been coming, not from the program, but from the fans. And I'm sorry, but Colorado, man, that under at 3.5 looks so inviting.
It does.
Because they are not going to be good.
Where's Buff Josh? Get him in here for the Colorado talk.
Oh, he's back there, still basking in the glow of Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
Oh, yeah, there he
By the
is.
way, did everyone notice how much that Fox has been just promoting the living?
It's been unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if they would have been, if they could have scored 59 more points than they scored,
Might have.
If only.
They lost their OC, they lost 8 players in the NFL, they lost their quarterback, and you would have no idea that they're playing and hosting Colorado.
Right. Yeah. No, totally. And
It's like it's a Colorado spring game again. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Regardless of what happens
well,
against TCU.
if they win, I mean, they'll still promote it. Obviously, I don't think it'll be as heavy, and it's so much easier because, this is Thursday night game, so it's the very first game. Next week's going to be a little more crowded, but if Colorado somehow wins that game, good Lord, it's going to be out of control.
It'll make it even better if Nebraska goes in. That's the dream scenario, right? If Nebraska wins this week, that's aside from it. But if Colorado wins this week, somehow finds a way to win,
And then they get to beat them.
and then Nebraska goes
I
out
would
to
agree.
beat 'em.
Yeah,
that's
what you want the most.
That'd be amazing.
That's the dream scenario.
Yeah.
But this is about
Well, the dream Nebraska wins too.
yes, of
That's
course.
the dream
they have
scenario.
to take care of their business
Yeah.
as well.
No. I meant wins tonight.
Wins
Yeah,
tonight
yeah,
and then
yeah.
beats Colorado after Colorado
Yes.
beats TCU.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be
Now,
amazing.
the odds of that, I would love to see what someone would give me odds on that. Probably
Right.
like 12-1.
On both of them
15-1.
both of them winning this
Be a
weekend,
rich man.
Yeah.
and then Nebraska winning next weekend. Yeah, it'd be pretty good. You get pretty steep, but maybe as much as Shedeur Sanders to win the Heisman, plus 10,000.
People love throwing money away.
It's amazing. Yeah,
Didn't you invite people to just Venmo you the money instead?
Yeah, if you're thinking of betting on Colorado to win the national championship, my Venmo is open.
I say come to Oscars and get a really nice lunch.
Oh,
instead of
man. Yeah,
spending-
$1,000 lunch at
Yeah.
Oscars.
spending a $10
You could probably
ticket.
just sit here all day from now till the end of the game.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
gotta make that
imagine all
even
those
better.
wings.
Very well could.
Yeah.
It's money well spent.
All right. Well, let's talk about the game tonight.
Okay. By the way, people say they can't hear Gary, which is ironic because we can hear him very
We
loudly.
can we can very much hear Gary.
Yeah.
Now, that's just people on the YouTube. I don't
No,
know.
these are okay. So because someone texted and said we can't hear him on the radio.
Hmm.
So, all right, perfect.
By the way, real quick, a 2-leg parlay if you want Colorado and Nebraska on the money line pays 28-1.
Whoa.
Plus 28-11.
Happer is putting it in right now.
Yep. Going to FanDuel.com/Happer, of course.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. So we'll get Gary. We'll get Gary's situation figured out eventually. And he's just totally completely put the mic down. He's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
At this point, we're working on it. So do we all have Nebraska losing tonight? Or you guys haven't made your official predictions yet, I suppose.
I did on our sister station KLIN this morning.
Okay, so it's out there. It's in the ether.
It is in the ether.
So you feel very comfortable about saying
comfortable?
No,
I mean,
you can just say your prediction out
Yeah,
loud.
yeah. I'm not going to spoil anything because it's already been spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to say it?
Yeah.
26-17 Minnesota.
26
So
to
you got
17.
covered. I got 28-20 Minnesota.
Yeah.
28-20.
So I think Nebraska covers tonight.
I think we all. Well, I guess Josh doesn't think that.
And Nick.
Well,
yeah, Nick's.
I got 28-20,
Nick's
so
at 8.
just barely Minnesota.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking about this earlier. Do you guys look at that as more conducive of what Minnesota does, that it's not – they're not a blowout type of team? Or is it because Nebraska's that much more better off, that much more prepared than they were, say, a year ago?
Like, I really –
Because I think Minnesota's style, unless you completely crap the bed, I don't feel like they're going to blow out teams.
No, I agree with you because – and we got to remember this game. I mean, we could come in sub 3 hours tonight. In fact, I would love to see a prop on that.
Hell
because,
yes, John.
because I think we're coming in sub 3 hour regulation, and if it somehow went into overtime, obviously that throws everything
It's
out.
Boston qualifying time.
But serious
quarter.
That's a quarter. But you're right. I mean, I think both teams want to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They want to shorten the game, and it's really going to be incumbent on not making mistakes. That's why I think one of the keys tonight, Nebraska, if they've got an advantage in one area, it's the element of surprise or the element of the unknown. Because the 3-3-5, how exactly is Tony White going to run it with this group of guys? What was one of the first things that PJ Fleck talked about in his press conference on Sunday was, man, I don't know where these guys are coming from.
Preparing for ghosts.
They're preparing for ghosts. And I think Nebraska needs to jump on that. I know Matt Rhule talked about winning the fourth quarter, all this other stuff. But I think from a defensive standpoint, Nebraska needs to jump on Minnesota with the element of surprise.
Yeah.
Be unpredictable, be uncanny, get a negative play or two. An early turnover in this game. If Nebraska could get an early turnover in this game, I think it would change the paradigm.
Oh, completely.
If this just plays out as a, grind it out, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, field position type game, I don't think it favors Nebraska. But if they can get a negative play against Minnesota early, flip the field, that can change it. That can change the paradigm.
Let me ask you guys a question because I did some research on it this morning. If you know, just tell me, and then we can move on to someone who doesn't. If you were to guess how many takeaways Syracuse had last year with Tony White as their defensive coordinator.
You know the answer.
I know the answer. What would you guys guess the number to be?
Because I did some looking into that during the offseason. I don't remember it being a very high
It
takeaway.
surprised
12.
me.
Yeah.
Okay, not that low.
Okay.
Not that low.
Takeaways.
This is just raw
never mind.
takeaways.
Okay.
You were thinking turnover
Yeah,
margin?
I'm thinking turnover
Yes, so not raw turnover margin, just takeaways.
I'll go 19.
Yeah, I was going to say right around 20.
That's the number, 19.
Wow.
It
Look at that,
surprised
John.
me. It's basically 1.5 per game. They played
Yeah.
13 games. It's 1.5 per game.
I don't think it's a terribly explosive defense.
I was
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
surprised, though, but just given how we've talked about it throughout the offseason and being opportunistic. Nebraska, by the way, they were like 13, I think, last year, or 16. 16 last year.
takeaways.
Yeah, so
really not a huge difference.
Not a big difference. I found that interesting.
And at some point, that number, and I
Has
know
to go up.
exactly some of that is luck. We know that, like it was
Yeah.
Iowa a year ago,
Yeah.
where they were the first 6 games,
And
it was
Iowa a year
ridiculous.
ago, and Iowa 2 years ago, and Iowa 3 years ago.
At some point, it has. I mean, there's luck involved, so it's got to skew the other way for Nebraska. I mean, you feel like they're due, but I get it. Like at some point, that is also being in position, having the type of guys that can do that, and you feel like, will this scheme unleash that, unlock that a little bit more? You hope so, but that's a huge problem.
Yeah, I've never been really under the impression that this is like a huge, turnover creating
Right.
defense. I thought, and I think to John's point, what really works about tonight is that you just don't know exactly how to prepare for it. And that is sort of what they're going after with the defense in its entirety. I was sort of on this idea like a month or two ago, like they could really make a splash on defense early because until you get some stuff on tape.
Yes.
And then
Because it's so unpredictable?
I'm not saying that it sort of deteriorates through the year, but there's just more to look at and there's more to understand what you're actually trying to do. They could take advantage of that. And it's funny that you have this game right away where it's against a team you generally kind of, even they're undergoing some transition, right? They have a new quarterback for the first time in 15 years, I think, and another new offensive coordinator. But you know what they're trying to accomplish. So I wonder, that should work to their advantage tonight. Does it result in a whole bunch of turnovers? I don't know.
By the way,
get one right away, though, that's huge.
Josh, that 19, I don't know if you knew this. It's basically, it's just on the good side of mid-pack in the country in terms of overall takeaways.
Yes.
It's tied for 57th in the country.
Yeah, basically right in the top 6.
And so really, we think of Nebraska, man, they just didn't get a lot of takeaways. I mean, Nebraska was tied for 84th with like a dozen other teams, which is basically the middle of the pack, which is not, it's not great, but it's not bad. Yeah. And we tend to think that, man, this team just doesn't get any takeaways.
Exactly.
Well, they pretty much were the national average.
They turned up the heat last year after Shenander got fired. Remember, like they
don't be like Josh and blame my guy Chins again.
Your guy Chins.
He's a big Chins guy.
Interesting.
I was 21 Chins guy. I was 2021 Chins guy, big time.
You can turn up the heat here at Oscars.
Yes.
Is this mic working?
I don't know.
We can hear you.
That was a subtle test.
We hear you.
If anyone's listening, let us know if you just heard Josh, because if so, then Gary gets to return to the show.
Well, but it's only hearing on the YouTube, right?
No, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
It's everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, they
We had
that was awesome,
fake
Josh.
Gary, but
That was like just
You
the
can shoot
subtle.
on it.
He is in
Okay,
Nick,
works.
you can speak to this too. He is in mid-season Husker Sports Network form. Just right in the middle of conversation. just busting in the sponsor.
We got more comments coming up after this.
Have you heard about soybeans lately?
By the way, Travis wants to know, he says,
And the Case IH.
I'd be curious how many tackles for loss / negative plays Syracuse had under White. Last year they were 50th in the country. They had 79 in 13 games. So again, very, very middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
So
really
I
how
dare
thought
say
about
that the key to this year, and it's one of the things that Rhule has hammered on since day one, it's about limiting the turnovers.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, turnover margin. It's the math of both sides, but the bigger problem is the giveaways.
Yeah.
And that's what they've been really focused on. And if they can make that work, like I said, if they. What would you say the score is tonight if I could guarantee you Nebraska had 0 turnovers?
And we don't know anything about the number of takeaways.
We don't know about anything else. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not going to throw an interception. They're not going to fumble the ball or lose a fumble.
I'd say it's closer than what I said earlier.
I would too.
A 3-point game.
Nebraska could probably win that game.
Yeah, I would have it at like 2017, 21-17.
Okay.
3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, somewhere in that range, in between there. Because you're going to get what? 9 to 12 possessions tonight, like max. You can score 3-4 touchdowns. Like that's pretty high hit rate.
I think I counted it last year's Minnesota game. They had 12 possessions. Nebraska had 11.
Yeah, and that was slow. I mean, it was 10-0 after the first half.
You have new clock rules. I think it's
yes.
I think it's 9 possessions both sides.
9.
You're probably right.
Got to take advantage of
Which means every time you have the ball, you
pressure.
I think one of the keys, we'll talk about this later in our show, but
key party.
Last year, Nebraska had 6 straight drives against Minnesota after they took that lead where they had 3-play drives.
Oh, man,
exactly
that's
3-play drives. They had 1 first down in that time.
Whether or not you're scoring, you got to not have 3-play drives.
Right.
You got to
protecting the defense.
You got to
It sounds like a very modest goal, but I think if
that's what they're going to be.
You need to aim for get me a first down every drive.
Yeah, but that's
because
what
that can change if Buschini is going to be, because they think he's going to take another step up. If Buschini is that guy, you get 1 first down per drive. That's a little bit closer than he is to pinning him inside the 20-yard line.
Yep, field position's a pretty big deal. It will be in the Matt Rhule era. All right, let's take a quick timeout. We got defense. Let's talk a little bit about the offense and whatever else may come up.
Did you recognize that ringtone?
Yes. As we continue on, we are at Oscars Pizza and Sports Grill at 173rd and Center. The Red Out Lunch is presented by Union Bank and Trust. At Union Bank and Trust, your money has people. Back with more on 1620 The Zone.
The Red Out Lunch at Oscars Pizza and Sports Grill is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
If there's a snail crawling towards me inside of the Omaha NRG studio, it's not going to be any other snail. That's just the one snail.
But when Nick and I bring a bag full of snails and dump them at your
I'm
feet.
not working with you two
Don't play
yahoos
52
anymore.
snail pickup.
I'm not gonna work with you anymore.
Unsportsmanlike conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny, comfortable, and breezy for your Thursday afternoon with improving smoke and haze. A high this afternoon in Omaha of 84 degrees with southeasterly winds up to 20 miles an hour. Skies staying clear tonight, full moon still visible, breezy and mild again with a low of 64. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
Take a break this Labor Day with catering from Rib Shack Smokehouse, 108th and Q.
It's easy to see the common signs of transmission trouble.
If your engine revs before it falls into gear. If it seems to switch gears for no reason. So watch for the signs. Certified transmission, the job done right at the right price.
Celebrate Septemberfest Labor Day weekend outside the CHI Health Center, Lot D, September 1st through the 4th. There are games, carnival rides, and food. There's also clowns, a petting zoo, and a KCBS barbecue cook-off. Friday, there's Omaha Fight Club and epic music all weekend long. Monday, it's the Labor Day Parade through downtown Omaha at 10 a.m., along with the All-American Car Show with Handy Clark from American Graffiti. Septemberfest at the CHI Health Center, Lot D. Click SeptemberFestOmaha.org for times and parking info.
Get into the Mazda CX-30 at Woodhouse Mazda. You'll enjoy a spacious interior and versatile cargo space, user-friendly infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration. It also comes with standard iActive all-wheel drive that helps maintain great traction, plus several trim options that lets you get the Mazda you want with features you want. Shop during the Season of Discovery event at Woodhouse Mazda in Bellevue or Woodhouse Place Mazda off 144th and Giles Road. Woodhouse Mazda, a drive worth experiencing. Email us on the Equitable inbox with whatever is on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can hit me up, agree, disagree, tell me your thoughts on life at Hanley at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Hi, this is Kathy Knoyer with Knoyer Garden Center. The beauty of fall is in our greenhouses, featuring a variety of Knoyer-grown fall product that will allow you to create a gorgeous fall container or arrangement. Come join us for our fall open house September 2nd and 3rd and enjoy snacks and refreshments. Whether it's home decor, fall annuals, perennials, or shrubs, we will help you beautify your home. Located between Highway 370 and Cornhusker on 66th Street in Papillion.
At Knoyer Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
Open daily, 10 to 6.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Let us talk about the three most surprising things about modern LASIK at Kugler Vision. The first, how fast that LASIK procedure is. With Kugler Vision's leading edge technology, we're talking just a few minutes per eye. Incredibly speedy. And how about this for number two, how comfortable the procedure is. So often from their patients, they hear, wait, that's it? It's over? They make sure that you're relaxed and comfortable, as well as knowing exactly what is happening. And this, for number three, how quickly you can get back to normal life. Patients typically drive themselves to Kugler Vision the very next day for their follow-up visit. So you're back in action less than 24 hours later. Kugler Vision right now, they have special pre-summer savings on modern LASIK or any of their other advanced vision correction procedures. If you've ever thought about fixing your bad vision, the Kugler Vision Eye Analysis is your first step. Do so today. Schedule one online at KuglerVision.com.
Harrah's Council Bluffs presents Alter Bridge with Seven Dust, Thursday, August 31st at Stir Cove. Get tickets and check out the full entertainment lineup at StirCove.com. Stir Cove is an all-ages venue.
Septemberfest, the annual salute to labor, delivers fun to the entire family. Labor Day weekend, there's live music all weekend long in the beer garden, including Finger 11 on Saturday. And there's entertainment for kids, including a giant carnival midway. There's also amazing food, plus attractions, including Remember the Fallen Tribute Towers. Proceeds from Septemberfest fund a number of community improvement projects. Septemberfest, September 1st through the 4th. Get details at SeptemberFestOmaha.org.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
Now back to the Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill. Presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people on 1620 The Zone.
Connor Happer, Josh Peterson, Gary Sharp, John Bishop, Nick Hanley here with you from Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill at 173rd and Center. It's the Red Out Lunch, and it's presented by Union Bank and Trust. At Union Bank and Trust, your money has people. John asked a question. What?
No. Have you said hello? All the Union Bank guys
Bank
are there.
And Trust.
Hey, Union Bank.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
UBT.
That was my first bank in Lincoln. Right there in over by Union College.
Yes. Yeah.
That was we had to continue with the old.
Oh yeah.
You don't let that thing go. You like giving a tribute to Schaefer?
Yeah, I figured.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, big beard now. Yeah, see what's gonna happen. I don't know.
It's like Shaggy.
I can't tell if people like it or not. It's like a combination of like, wow, that looks like garbage, and hey, I like it.
So my barber told me, like, if you want to actually like make it big but also good, like you got to grow it out. It's got to be a little gnarly.
Yeah, and then you get shaped a little bit. Yeah.
I just realized I'm the only one here without
Gary.
facial hair.
Yep.
You are.
Time to change it. Yeah, come on, Gary.
Have you ever had?
Nope.
You can
I
have
was going to say, I don't think I've ever
grew a beard
outside of just didn't shave for a couple of days.
Stashes are in.
Yeah, they are.
Stashes are in.
You could look you and Nick Grimm.
Like don't say stashes are in and then look at Nick Grimm.
Well, that's not the stash I was referring to. A lot of younger guys. Well, Nick's young, but
but
not everybody.
Speaking of Matt Rhule, so
Matt
Rhule. It is odd to see coaches that have facial hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't happen very often around here. But did you ask the question, will he wear a hat tonight?
Many people are wondering about this.
It's a great question.
Will he wear a hat? Will he wear a smock?
He'll definitely have a smock.
Oh, yeah.
no hat.
He's Mr. Smock.
I just need
Smock,
to get
no hat.
him a new hat, a nice new hat. His hats are bad.
I
He's
did
got
see
bad
the
hats.
question,
remember
what
him
color
wearing a lot of
smock?
hats at Baylor during games.
I don't either.
Or even with the Panthers.
I don't think so either.
I Googled Matt Rhule Baylor, and he is hatless in every picture that I'm seeing right now.
I think the hats are for practice.
He's never been a visor boy, right?
No.
Thank God.
No.
Anything but a visor.
I don't think we've had a visor coach ever at the University of dear old Nebraska U.
No.
I mean, maybe this was in practice. Did Tim Beck wear some in practice?
Oh, definitely, because he had the show hair.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wore some in practice.
He had that thing gelled up like.
Oh yeah.
If you touched it,
your hand was gonna bleed.
Now, reporting on Matt Rhule and hats, he did wear one sometimes in Carolina.
Okay.
He wore one with the Panthers sometimes.
And he wore one in the spring.
But we're trying to forget that chapter.
Yeah.
So let's just
but once you
Carolina
go,
won't let you
once
forget
you go
that
hat,
chapter.
you can't come. Once you go hat, you can't come back.
I believe that's the case.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's also a lot where he's hatless, so I don't know. I'm going to guess no.
I say no.
He may have lost some hair since the last time he was. I mean,
Google Matt Rhule Temple. He's a young guy.
I think Carolina changed.
Yeah, it's interesting
No
because
hats at Baylor.
I was just thinking back. Osborne started without a hat. Of course, coaches didn't wear unless you were like a Tom Landry, didn't wear a hat back in the early days. But then pretty much the last 10 years of his career, Osborne was hat guy.
I say no hat. I feel good about that one too.
Okay, no hat.
Yeah, I agree.
No hat. Smock.
Yeah.
Smock.
So he's got a personal, like they made him a smock. Adidas made him a smock.
I saw them selling them, right? Haven't they been selling smocks?
Those just weird jackets with the white sleeve.
Yeah, that weird white sleeve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Adidas is really trying to do something different, I think, this year.
Yeah, I think you're right.
John asked a question earlier. If this game has 0 turnovers, if Nebraska has 0 turnovers, then how does that affect the outcome of the game? We got a text on the text line here from Happer's meme guy.
Nice.
Who says if Nebraska has no turnovers, Jeff Sims has a golden horseshoe not just shoved up his butt, but it's in his lower intestine.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wow.
Welcome to Nebraska.
He's not Nathan Peterman, is he?
Peterman.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Come on.
He has been a turnover man. Rhule, remember he was asked about this a couple weeks ago. He was like, I was actually surprised that he has been one of the most turnover, prone guys in the country. I'm like, interesting, because he must have been, he must be practicing pretty well. 23 interception in his career.
In how many games?
Compared to 30 touchdowns. This is over 25 football games.
I think the other stat, though, is 17 career fumbles.
Yeah, that's the one that's probably going to be more prevalent for tonight because I don't know if he'll throw it 20 times.
Ooh.
I don't know. I mean, if you're looking at, let's say, 55 to 60 plays.
Yeah.
That's a solid number to say.
I don't know if he's going to throw it 20 times.
Ooh.
And if he does, I don't know how many shots of those are downfield.
Right.
But if he does throw interceptions, he's going to end up throwing it more because they're probably going to be down, right? Like
True.
I think you could kind of pencil him in for an interception. I think we just have to sort of live with that, we haven't seen it where a guy just completely changes who he is, even in this transfer portal, world that we live in. I mean, it just doesn't happen. Usually a guy is who he is, even though he's in different offenses. I'm not sure what's happening, but
we're popping.
Jeff Sims popping a lot.
We're popping.
Yeah.
Your composure is really good.
But they need him. They need him to not turn the ball over.
Yeah,
somehow.
for sure.
Yeah.
I think Gary brought up the fumbles. That's the thing to keep an eye on. I
So
think, the most.
when he has been healthy, in games that he's healthy, 60 yards rushing on average.
I mean, there's some really
So if you-
explosive
but if-
games in here.
So let's say you have Gabe Ervin gives you 80, Sims gives you 60. Now you need to find a combination to get to a magical number of another 30.
To get close to 200, to get above 200.
I think if you're in the range of 160 to 175, you feel pretty good tonight.
Yeah, probably. By the way, the prop on FanDuel, promo code 1620, got ours in first. Prop on Gabe was only 37.5.
Wow.
For rushing yards.
Really?
Huh.
But
Yeah,
I think they're anticipating there's going to be a rotation, though. We don't know if Ramir Johnson, how healthy he's going to be tonight.
So I have Irvin at 43.5 right now, and then Sims at 35.5 yards.
Oh, is that the new? Is that on FanDuel?
Player rushing yards. Yep.
Okay, so that's gone up from last night.
Okay.
Irvin at 43.
Because last night it was 37.5.
43.5. Sims at 35.5.
So those are way lower than the numbers Gary just threw out.
And they're look like
So Vegas has Jeff Sims 180 total yards.
180 total yards.
Which,
man.
So if you're factoring 40,
we are really
45 on the ground.
Low scoring.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, dude,
Low
yeah.
possession, that's why
Pound
that total
run.
has been coming down.
Yeah. What are we sitting at now? 40.5 still? Or I'm sorry,
42.5.
42.5. Still 42.5 as of this morning. And don't you think, though, like we have this plan and it always, like, there's always something that happens. There's going to be something that happens in the first quarter. And it's going to be either about how they, I mean, it's in both
Like an
cases, it's going to
onside
be about
kick?
how they respond to it.
Who get it in earlier this year?
Why wait for the second half?
There will be a lot of onside kick jokes, though. Take the over on those.
God help us if Nebraska's down 2 scores late, gets a score to pull within 1, and then has to kick an onside kick.
Oh, yeah.
No, God help us, John,
they'll-
if they go up by 2 scores in the second half. Everyone's going to make that joke.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
They'll never be able to do an onside kick again.
No,
in program
they really,
history.
yeah, they really can't.
Yeah.
Even if they need to.
Yeah,
like,
even
no,
if it's
sorry.
if it's like in the right moment.
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah, when he trolls the entire fan base, and that's the opening play of the game tonight.
When is I'm trying to remember.
The last successful one?
Yeah. Nebraska's successful
Oh, God.
onside kick. I can think of a couple that happened against Nebraska.
Didn't they
Did they
almost
get
get
one-
one against Purdue?
I think they got one in the Ohio
Oh, yeah.
State 2021 late. Because remember, they cut it to 9, and that was one of their one score or their one possession. I think they got one in that game.
Oh, okay.
And it was kind of late. I'm not sure on that, but it's flashing in my head for some reason. That would be the last. And they famously botched one in a different Ohio State game.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
I remember that. Yep.
Shout out Caleb
I
Light.
cannot remember the last successful.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
He went to a dark place after that game.
Yeah, Oregon State.
Now, hang on.
I guess, yeah.
They've had a better run the last few years than Nebraska.
Now they
That
don't
is
have
true.
a conference, John.
That is
That's true.
So
Tristan Gebbia got out at the right time.
they're gonna need to find a way. I mean, my question is like, are we gonna see this? This is a huge changeover in terms of philosophy and what you want to do, like on offense with your program in general. I mean, Rhule often talks about how much respect he has for the people who came before him. He thinks about football games completely different from his predecessor.
Oh, yeah.
So how different does it look tonight? I would imagine.
How does that show itself?
Yeah, I would imagine significantly, but how
Because
specifically?
Nick and I have talked about this. He plays the math game.
Yeah.
I think,
absolutely.
Coaches say, all right, I understand if you get it to this spot on a kickoff, more than likely you're going to score, or you have an explosive play of 15 or more yards. Like, Rhule has studied math. Like, okay, there's a reason why he said, I don't want guys fair catching on a kickoff.
Right.
Because he thinks, all right, we'll get to the 25, but there's no guarantee, especially around here. And we all go, have you not seen Nebraska's kickoff return game? But he plays the math like the middle of the field is an area where I've been told they've worked a lot on. Like everybody works on the red zone. They've worked a lot on like between the 30s on the way that they operate offensively. So he plays the math game of, okay, if we get 3 yards on first down, it's kind of like Osborne did, where he's already thinking ahead. Like, I already know this play is going to get 4 yards. This is why we're calling this. And that first down play hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
So Rhule strikes me as a guy that's always thinking ahead. And that might be from a little bit of his NFL background.
Along those lines, Gary, we talk so much about how many possessions will there be, probably fewer possessions than normal. Like a lot of these offensive possessions, it's going to come down to like, can they just move the ball to set up better punt position?
Exactly.
Right?
Definitely. Yeah.
So then they can pin Minnesota back somewhere.
That's why I'm saying I think it's a modest goal, but a first down every drive. No matter if it ends in points or not, if you can get a first down every drive, you're going to help flip that field and get better field position, assuming that your punter is as good as he says it is. But back to what you were saying, Gary, you almost get the sense, too, that Matt Rhule, as much as he talked about the fourth quarter, almost builds his games from the end to the front.
Definitely.
Sometimes
he's thinking about the first quarter.
I'm going to go NASCAR on you all here.
Yeah.
But hang on for a second.
About time.
Okay.
Sometimes when you're running a fuel mileage race, you start from the finish and you build in how many pit stops. I think
Of course.
Yes.
I say that every day.
I almost think that that's how Matt Rhule also builds these games.
Oh, there's no doubt. He's thinking about the fourth quarter before the game even starts. He said as much. So I looked this up this week. Nebraska's longest touchdown drive last year. Do you know how long it was? Do you know how many minutes it lasted?
Indiana.
Correct?
It's the fourth quarter. Isn't it a 13-play drive?
That was the one that put it away.
It was a 12-play, 54-yard drive.
Wow.
That lasted
That's right.
6
It just
minutes
took forever.
and 5 seconds. No, it didn't take that long, Nick. It was just their longest drive
That's
of the
not
year.
even
But
5 yards of play.
For 54 yards.
Yeah, for 54 yards,
54 yards.
for 12 plays.
That's long. Yeah.
That
That's
is
feet.
3 yards in a
Yeah.
club.
Under
That's
5
feet.
yards of play.
But so they should eclipse that tonight. I mean, they should eclipse that tonight. They should have a longer scoring drive that takes more time and more yards, obviously. But if things are going well, they're going to have a drive that is 10, 11, 12 plays for 75 yards, and it takes probably more than 8 minutes off the clock. Like that's what they want to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Last year it was either that or most of the time it was 3 plays and it was see you later.
Well, and I'm with John on that too. As far as the first downs, a modest goal, but you cannot have 3 and outs.
Certainly not 6 straight drives of 3 plays like they did last year.
Especially
Oh
when
my
you're
God.
trying to work in concert with that
Yes.
defense. You have got to be on the field. You have to be on the field. Even if, at the very least, say you're at your own 40, you're flipping it back over. You're allowing your defense to pin them back. You're making Minnesota then have to kind of get uncomfortable a little bit as well. And then they have to maybe, okay, we know they're going to still run the football, but then are they starting to kind of feel like they got to throw the ball a little bit more than they want to at times? Just try to take them a little bit out of their identity as much with special teams at the very least.
So I have this one of my spreadsheets. This does not include
Which one?
This does not
Which
include
chapter?
the Iowa game from last year. It does not include the final game, so the numbers may change a little bit. But their average drive length last year, 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
Whew. Wow. Jesus.
2 minutes and 5 seconds. Average plays per drive, just a hair over 5.
Wow.
And average yards per drive, just a little under 28. So just about 28 yards per drive.
think back to what Frost talked about in his first press conference and what Matt Rhule has talked about all this offseason. Totally different mindset. We want to score fast, more possessions.
Yeah.
Matt Rhule, we want to grind it out. We want to, play ball control. I mean, it's just total flip. And listen, you're only as good until someone hits you in the face, right? Nebraska's going to get hit in the yes, thank you. Mike Tyson, a great philosopher. But who gets taken out of what they want to do first tonight?
Yeah.
Because they both kind of want to do the same thing, but who's going to be the team that's going to feel the pressure to go, oh man, maybe we need to throw it more, or maybe we need to go downfield a little more.
A lot of that is going to be predicated on who gets that first turnover.
Yeah,
There's
which
gonna
is
be
why,
one,
again, I
like-
think capitalizing on the unknown is so important tonight for Nebraska defensively.
So a couple more stats on this last year drive chart thing, because I got to put it to use somehow.
There you go.
So going into the Iowa game, 37 drives were 3 and out. 37 drives were 3 and out. 31 of them were touchdown drives. So they had more drives
More
than
three and
outs that there were touchdowns. So over almost 27% of their drives all year were 3 and out.
Wow,
a quarter, more than a quarter.
There's a lot of empty possessions.
So it's not just that they didn't score; it's that they didn't
help the field position.
Exactly. And
they literally gave the ball right back.
A lot of those 3-play drives were like negative yards too.
I'm looking at the drive chart in the Minnesota game last year, and the last 3 and out was 3 plays negative 5 yards, and it ended in a pick.
So that's one of the keys. I think we all probably had it today. Like even if it's not scoring, it's extending those drives, helping field position, and all that stuff. And you're right. I mean, to both your guys' point, like that's the way Matt Rhule thinks about the game. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
for sure. That's the way that they want to play.
All right. How about the assistant coach that is not named Donovan Raiola, who is under the most pressure to have his unit perform now?
Do we count coordinators?
Yeah, do we count coordinators?
Because I was going to say Satterfield if we do.
You can count coordinators.
Satterfield.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we all agree there.
Yeah.
Because of all the hires, save again for Raiola, that was one that probably was met with because instantly people, when they look at coordinators, all right, well, what did they do at the previous school? And sure,
he actually has experience.
They ended really well at South Carolina, but before that, it was like, Nebraska. Ever since Osborne retired, Nebraska fans have been so wary of the play caller. No one really the only people that questioned Osborne was, well, you don't throw it enough. But that was
Stop running to the short
But
side.
the biggest thing out of it is,
but everyone since then, the offensive coordinator has been held under a giant microscope.
And the offensive coordinator, the most key thing with that is, yes, whether obviously the offense is good, but it's whether the offense fits with how the coach wants to coach the game.
Yeah.
And I mean,
last year plays complementary football.
That's it. Last year, Marcus Satterfield at South Carolina is actually not a very good example of how they want to play football. Like, it's going to be a completely different
But they still
thing.
weren't able to in 2 years from the ball. Could
Right.
I interest
Which is
any
what
of
they
you
wanna do.
guys in Ed Foley?
Special teams.
Because they have prioritized special teams to a point that it's going to be a difference maker. And Ed's a nice guy. He would be hanging out here at Oscars. He'd be taking selfies. But if their special teams, if they prioritize special teams from the head coach and they're not better blocking, covering, and then the most important thing of kicking, returning.
Yeah.
I mean, a nice guy. We all had fun with him getting to learn Ed Foley, but they have, I mean, Rhule is when you commit to a special teams coach and then you openly talk about it ad nauseum, it has to be something in your first game of the season has to look okay.
Yes. Yeah. And the difference here is it's actually like built into the formula of how they win football games. So it has to be good. Like they have no choice.
Right.
You can't
you can't play ball control and lose special teams.
Yes.
And it's not a throwaway like part of their game where it was.
Scott Frost didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Well,
so if you're thinking about it and you're still bad.
Yeah.
And John was asking the question, okay, who gets out of their identity a little bit more? And we're thinking turnovers. Well, also, who has that big special teams gaff? Like, and that's one of those things that if you were to put money on it, historically, it'd be Nebraska.
Yes.
So is that a major improvement where it's a difference maker where maybe
literally the last two openers, the last two openers, a special teams gap.
Exactly.
Oh my
exactly.
Turn the game.
So can you flip that? I mean, and that's the thing. Can it be a difference maker from the standpoint if they're going to play in close games this year, like we think they will, is that actually going to be a benefit as opposed to something that is just absolutely kneecapping them every game?
Well, if we have a pretty good idea of how they're going to, when Rhule's talking about not fair catching inside the 10 because he doesn't believe in it, they obviously think that they can get back to the 25-yard line.
That starts the mindset.
And
By
that
the
they
way,
can make some plays off of that.
Thanks for bringing that up. I hadn't thought about CTB in that play for a while.
I'm sorry, Gary.
Good thing he's gone on and had a nice career here and went to the NFL.
Yeah.
But if you're going, so it's all part of like the message that Rhule sends out is if you say that not going to fair catch, that means you have an aggressive mindset.
Yes.
You can't all of a sudden, if in an area where you're going to say we're going to be aggressive, all of a sudden look like crap.
Right.
Yeah. It has to be a part of
You're
their
just
formula,
that's a failure. Now, Rhule is hard on his assistants. Like he gets after them. He coaches them up, but he expects a high standard out of them. And Ed's a nice guy. The College World Series, he's having a great time. He was taking pictures. But I think his unit has to be ahead of other units immediately tonight. And, oh, by the way, he's rolling out a freshman place kicker.
Yep.
And I wanted to ask this question, guys, based on just what you said, Gary. we know that Matt Rhule isn't afraid of kicking field goals, right? But if there's a moment where it's like let's say a 4th and 3. Meanwhile, Nick is going the wrong way. Nick is distracted. He's going through the patio. But let's say
the gate open.
Let's say there's an early moment where
gate open.
Somebody's
good job, Nick.
Out.
Let's say there's an early moment tonight where maybe your borderline field goal, let's say 42, 43 yards, but it's like a 4th and 3. Does Matt Rhule intentionally not go for it to put Tristan in that spot to go make an early big kick, or does he go for it? I mean,
great question.
How does he?
Yeah, that's some of the game theory we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Well, I think ideally you'd like to have the first one be a nice, easy one, right?
Right. But if there's that moment where you're like, do I go for it or not? If you trust your kicker, or you trust your offense,
Oh, that's a big part of it too. I mean, what is the offense doing? What's the go zone for Alvano right now?
Right.
And on this stage tonight,
zone.
And we know it. And this is an East-West stadium, right?
No, this is North-South.
Oh, it is in North-South.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you look.
But what the weather
city,
conditions are and whatnot, and how he's kicking in there, because we saw what he did in the state championship.
Well, he's gonna have to look at the stupid gopher kicking the, on the thing.
Unless he's going the other way.
Unless he's going the other way.
Well, I think they try and get his leg into the game early.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason why the place kicking competition went until the other day.
Yes.
Tristan has been number 1, but he wasn't consistent enough in the back end of training camp for them to just sign off and go, he's the number 1 guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it took a while.
I mean, he went through the ups and downs. So I think they get his leg involved early.
We got to take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll round out the round table from Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill at 173rd and Center when we return on 1620 The Zone.
The Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. It will be Labor Day before you know it. And if you do not have any plans, get signed up right now at miraclehillgolf.com for their Labor Day 4-person scramble. Only $320 for you and 3 others. As always, the golf, the cart, tee gift, prizes, you'll get fed. Plus, you'll have an awesome time. Sign up today at the website for their Labor Day 4-person scramble, miraclehillgolf.com.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Nick Handley here for DJ's Dugout. This year just feels different for Nebraska football. There's a renewed sense of excitement for a winning season. And when it comes to watching Nebraska football or your favorite pro teams on game day, DJ's Dugout is truly an Omaha tradition to gather with family and friends. With DJ's huge media walls, great food and service, you can feel the excitement. For watching football, DJ's Dugout rules. Locally and Vietnam veteran owned, dig in at the Dugout.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization. PACE provides an opportunity to develop discipline, self-esteem, and positive moral values through wholesome competition and free participation in soccer, baseball, CrossFit, and flag football. To help PACE and local families make sure kids have access to safe and fun spring and summer activities, please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is always looking to make your game day bigger and better. Cheer on your favorite team this season in front of a 22-foot LED video wall showing up to 8 games at once. TVs are everywhere else you can look with a state-of-the-art audio and video system. Enjoy a big old pizza or award-winning char-buffed wings. There's just no better way to do your game day. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road. And for takeout at 162nd and Maple.
Now back to the Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, Red Out Lunch is presented by Union Bank and Trust. At Union Bank and Trust, your money has people.
Well done.
Final thoughts from the round table?
I like Sesame Street.
You thought
Snuffy never got enough credit. He was a really important character.
It's fun to say.
Oh, bird.
John, did you drive by the stadium last night on your way home? People were wondering about this.
I wanted to, but the traffic was still
really
bad. It was because I looked on my app as I'm driving. I'm like, I don't want to get in the way.
You know, as far as that was, I was worried about that. I had no problem getting in and no problem getting out.
Good.
That's crazy.
It was money.
You timed it all. What time did you get in there?
Little after 5.
Okay. Where'd you park?
In the North Bottoms. Gary Zone North
That's
Bottoms.
always the play, man.
Yeah. Park on the outskirts.
Park next to my old house?
Yes, I probably did.
On New Hampshire?
John lived in New Hampshire. I was on 13th in New Hampshire. Yeah, there's like.
Oh my God, that's right.
There's like
there.
a dirt lot, a gravel lot over there.
Right there. I've not been by that old.
house.
I wonder if that old house. I'm guessing that house is still
Oh,
standing.
that house is definitely still there, John. I don't know what house it was, but they're all there.
Ours was the house. It advertised. It had what they call it. It used to when they built
like
the
a
houses initially. They put the kitchens in a separate building in the back.
Oh, that's nice.
And I can't
In case it
remember what
burns
they
down.
called it. Yeah, well, because it would heat up the house.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you want that though.
So we had like an historic kitchen in the back that we never got to use.
Oh man, I'm sure that house is still kicking.
In fact, one of the Thursday night games that Nebraska played, so it would have been Texas Tech 94.
Yep. 7-0 in their last 7 Thursday nights.
That's when we had a watch party at the house, and of course it was a day like it's going to be the rest of this week. Thanks a lot, Josh, for your bad weather. Really hot. My parents brought me because they grew their own like chili peppers.
Oh.
And I put the whole freaking thing in the chili. The chili was a little too hot. Only one person, my roommate, would eat it. And he's like, "This is the best chili I've ever had."
Yeah.
Oh,
good times.
So Nebraska, last time they played on a Thursday night,
I was
the
there.
2010 K-State game.
Adrian Martinez.
Yep. No, yeah, Adrian's brother.
Tater.
Tater.
Did you
Yep.
say Adrian?
You did.
Wow, you pulled a ESPN.
Yeah, you flipped it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, give me
there's
credit.
Taylor.
Adrian did play for Kansas State.
He did. That's
Yep.
what you meant. You were
There's
talking about
confusion.
last year.
There is
You're
confusion.
talking about the Tulane game last year.
Nebraska hasn't.
Could Jeff Sims have a Taylor Martinez?
Oh, God. Could you imagine?
Is he going to be all of a sudden in the Heisman conversation this time tomorrow?
You would have a party tonight on Big Red Overreaction.
Yeah, I would go as long as they needed. As long as
you go right into their show.
Sure. Yeah, I'll still be there.
Hey, why? Okay, so one quick here.
Yeah.
Why don't people think he's going to have a big game?
tonight.
You talking about like the totals and stuff?
Yeah, like nobody is like, well, you know what? Everything they've done at Georgia Tech, it's all new. He's going to blow up tonight. No one has said that.
It's a good question.
That's why I've been struggling all week with does Nebraska come out and just try to pound early, or in that script of 15 or 20 plays, there's opportunities for Jeff Sims to open it up. I've been torn as to which side I think this game's going to start.
Is it the combination of previous quarterback play, especially guys who are running, like Adrian?
Yep.
Previous quarterback play on top of the Georgia Tech numbers, turnover-wise. I would think those two combined, which is not fair as far as previous quarterback play in Nebraska, that Jeff Sims should be held to that standard. But the numbers, there's just enough there where people are probably like, ooh, I can't. I'm not going all in.
I know
on it
it's
yet.
weird because his head coach and his OC are convinced that he is completely different.
Yeah,
that's
seriously.
crazy.
Yeah, they
Everything
are.
you hear about him.
Now, the thing that obviously limits it is who he's throwing it to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, you can only throw to Billy
Not a fan
Kemp
of
so many
Alex
times.
Bullock.
And how that old line holds up.
Got a couple
That
wide.
thing.
What
Isaiah
kind of
Garcia
prop-
Castaneda. He loves first games of the season.
That's true. He'll have one in the corner of the end zone.
That would be nice.
He'll be there.
F it, throw it
I
up.
think-
Once a kick.
I think 24 will be heavily involved tonight.
Yeah. No, I think so too. I mean,
Looking forward to that.
no, I think a lot of people probably don't think he's going to have a huge game because of the way that they talk about. We were just talking about it in the last segment, like the way that they talk about offense and the whole. You're never going to hear us talk about starting fast and all that stuff. Like that's why.
Hey, how about this
Right?
prop real fast? Billy Kemp, over under 34.5 receiving yards. That seems low.
Yeah, it
That
seems
does
low.
seem
It
real
does.
Seems low. You know, I would,
Doesn't it seem like
that's a lot
like
of wings?
like minimum like
Some of those are mine.
55 to
those are
65? 55, 65 is what I feel like minimum.
You would hope so.
Yeah, I feel like
because he's going
that's
to
an
have
over.
5, 6, 7 catches, right?
I
At least
I would think.
he's their primary guy.
But again, go back to how many
How many-
times,
yeah, how many pass attempts?
how many pass attempts. I mean, I don't know if I would want to push anything above 20.
Well, and if you're a tight end guy, you know, how involved are they going to be, and how much is that going to spread out the receptions for everybody else? On the
Here's a
offense?
prediction for tonight. Nate Borkacher makes the first catch of the season.
I think so too. Yeah,
Because wasn't he the first
Well, you
catch
didn't
in the
even
spring
hesitate.
game?
No, I've been thinking that all week. Yeah,
Wow.
It's gonna be. Well, remember the one memorable play from the spring game.
Spring game, yeah.
Was Nate Borkacher.
First drive.
Nate Borkacher.
Little seam route, yeah.
Should we do like predictions, or how do we end this?
28-20 Minnesota.
Okay.
26-17 Minnesota.
Okay.
24-20 Minnesota.
You sounded really sure about that.
20-14 Minnesota.
And
24-21 Minnesota.
wow. All right, congrats to Nebraska on the win.
Now, these will all be brought back tomorrow.
Am I the only one that took the under?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
wow, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Oops, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
I almost
I feel like it's an under game, but
I almost feel it's better that I feel better about that than the spread.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why I. Oops.
Though I
computer's a
feel
little too
pretty-
high.
If you're not sure if they're going to take some shots early, then I don't know. It could get
Yeah.
explosive. Who knows?
Well, it only gets explosive if the walleye's
Well,
not
when
good.
Emmett Johnson houses the first kickoff, then it's game on.
Yeah.
Overs in jeopardy.
Well,
Emmett
listen, this
Johnson.
is what I want. If he houses the opening kickoff, I want an instant camera on Matt Rhule, and I don't want to see him smiling.
No smiling.
Yeah.
Smiling. No smiling.
You're not going to see me smile the first
Nick
play.
and Gary, this is it. This is your last chance to say anything before the game. You get out your last takes right here because these guys have 5 hours.
That's true.
Yeah.
Again, offensive line.
Offensive line.
We've talked about this. It's now. It's now or never. It's now or never. This group.
It's time.
Got to see that.
It's
And then
now or never.
I really, 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 really am interested in seeing. This isn't maybe the less sexy pick as far as tonight of watching him play. Deshaun Singleton. He's a guy that I
single-digit number.
I'm real curious
Black
to
shirt?
see how
Single-digit
how
Singleton.
he's evolved.
Deshaun single-digit number.
Yep.
10.
He's a dude. Watch the availability report 2 hours before kickoff.
Ooh, that's a nice tease.
Will there be a surprise?
Everybody that you would think might be on it is on the trip.
Yep.
So they will make a decision on probably a couple of guys.
Okay. All right. That's the roundtable. Great job, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Great job.
Hey,
And thank you to Union Bank and Trust. A Union
Oh,
Bank
they're
and
gone.
Trust. Your money has people. Josh and I will finish out the rest of our show when we return from Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill at 173rd and Center on 1620 The Zone.
The Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's 2 locations in Benson and the Old Market. It's not just about getting a cone or maybe a couple of scoops. Call ahead and get your refrigerator, freezer filled with Ted and Wally's ice cream. We're talking about getting quarts or half gallons. All you have to do is call ahead and tell them that's what you want. Over 3,000 flavors, so whatever you're looking for, they have it. And if you have some special needs, if you're lactose intolerant or you're worried about keto, they'll help you as well. Over 3,000 flavors, 2 locations. Tell them Severe sent you.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction, presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by Chase Senate Contracting, Tinman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, and Rotella's Italian Bakery. Immediately after the game, join the show and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction with the Keg and 1620 The Zone.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GOLD for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GOLD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GOLD for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
We created a simple PDF that gives you everything you need to know about branding, designing, and building a website that increases revenue. Download the website playbook for free at jmonline.com. If you're considering a website project but not sure who to hire, go to jmonline.com and download the free website playbook. It's a guide to a high-performing website. That's jmonline.com.
Hey everyone, Josh and John here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Go to FanDuel.com/1620 and kick off the NFL season with offers you don't want to miss.
21 plus and present in Iowa. First online, real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF. NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use extended. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
Here's today's Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
The big game versus Minnesota is right around the corner, and while it will be a day full of pressure in a hostile environment, head coach Matt Rhule isn't that worried about getting off to a quick start.
Yeah, you're never going to hear me talk about starting fast. They started fast last year. We were up 10-0. The game to me is about, as Coach Osmer told me, played the whole game to get to the fourth quarter and try to win in the fourth. We want to be the best team at the end, and I've worked hard to teach our guys that. There's a great quote, what kind of competitor sees the finish line and slows down? We want to sprint to the finish line. We want to sprint. And so for us, we're going to go out and play really, really hard. We're going to trade blows all game, body blows the whole game. We'll get to the middle 8 right before the half, and then come out of the half and try to win that, play hard, and then get to the fourth quarter, and to me, the whole new game begins. And then you get to the final 5 minutes, and it's like NBA basketball. Like, wake me up when there's 5 minutes left on the clock, and I'll come watch.
For The Zone, I'm Matt McMaster.
The Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Attention all you Husker football fans. This season, get ready to cheer on your Huskers like never before. Tickets for Less is offering an exclusive deal that'll have you jumping out of your seat. Use the promo code THEZONE and save big on Husker tickets for every game, home and away. From the electrifying home opener to intense conference matchups, Tickets for Less has you covered. Don't miss a single moment of the gridiron action. Visit ticketsforless.com today. Use promo code THEZONE and secure your seat to witness the Huskers live on the field this season. Hurry, this offer won't last forever.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Whoa, hey, welcome back. We're up now.
All the way up.
What, all the way up? Do we want to be all the way up?
No.
Worried about my takes, people hearing them all the time.
Well, it's funny because I don't touch that knob, yet the volume level changes.
It happens
throughout the show.
More of the Connor Happer Show with you here at 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. That was the Red Out Lunch, and it was fun. I think we covered it all. Josh, what did you think about our takes and all of us saying that Minnesota is going to win tonight?
The wings were great.
Yeah, you were just standing in the corner the whole time watching with a giant plate of wings.
I couldn't hear
from
across the room.
It was sort of distracting.
I bet.
Yeah.
I don't care. They were delicious wings.
They look really good.
I powerhoused them.
I can't wait to eat some in 1 hour.
It's following online and following with you guys here at the roundtable. It seems like almost literally everyone that covers Husker football has the exact same winner and score prediction for this evening.
It does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which that has to mean that's not going to happen.
Exactly. Right.
I only know one man, the brave Mike Schaefer, who has gone out on the limb and said, you know what? I don't need to see it. I don't need that proof of performance. I'm going to pick Nebraska. I believe in this thing.
What a positive boy.
Now, on the other hand, Schaefer has been wrong often as well, as we all have. But Schaefer, is wrong about Nebraska football. He seems to be at times a bit optimistic about Nebraska football. We get this on the text line from let's see, this is from Chris in Montana.
Hi, Chris.
Very encouraged about tonight's game, considering how wrong the 1620 town has been predicting the opening game in the last few years. I really think we got a shot. GBR.
Oh, hey now. Well, I mean, if that's what it takes,
honestly,
for Nebraska to win.
Everybody has the same thing with the same caveat, and it's I really want to pick Nebraska, and it feels like a good spot to pick Nebraska, and there's absolutely like all these avenues to them winning this football game, but I can't do it like physically because I just need to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I just need there needs to be some proof of performance, and I think that's a very healthy thing to say actually out loud. But would any of these people who like myself have chosen Minnesota to win by 3 or 6 or 5 or 7 or whatever it is, be surprised if Nebraska won tonight? No, I would not be surprised if Nebraska won tonight. I would not be.
What did you think about Bruntz earlier today saying that the local media up north seems to be very questioning of
not surprising
this Gophers team?
Not surprising from what I've read. I mean, there's just and the questions are different, right?
Mm-hmm.
The questions for them are it's not this giant changeover in terms of like who you are and what you do and what your program is about. Those are kind of all the same, but we have a new quarterback for the first time in a really long time.
Really long time.
And he has a different skill set than the previous quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
There is a new offensive coordinator. There's some changeover on the defensive side. So they do have questions. And as we've noted throughout the week, this game is probably more important to them than it is to Nebraska. It's probably more important for that program or not necessarily that program, for that team, that they win that game tonight more so than it is for Nebraska. Because, I mean, Nebraska, it wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world if they lost tonight. And then they go to Colorado next week, and that's when, the fun really starts. But for them, they have a really tough opening slate. They play North Carolina in the non-con. They go to Chapel Hill. They get Michigan and Ohio State, the crossover. If they don't win today, they're going to have a really difficult time finding their way to 7 and 8 and 9 wins. They've won 9 games each of the last 2 years, and 2020 doesn't count because it doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
And then they won 11 and 19. This has been a good program for a long time, and they have to keep that going. This year, it looks like a situation for them. If you were just looking at this as like a college football national, like it looks like a situation where, okay, they have a new quarterback, they have a new offensive coordinator, their schedule is bad. It looks like a 7-5 type of deal. It looks like that to me.
They're working on a razor-thin margin. They don't have room for unexpected losses, quote unquote. So, yeah, tonight's critical for them, whereas for Nebraska, there's a ton of grace this season for Matt Rhule and company, especially if it looks good and they're still
you can look
losing
good and lose.
close.
Now, we've been saying that all offseason, but then the season happens and you're like, oh, well, I am mad, actually.
I am mad that Jeff Sims had 2 fumbles and a pick.
John correctly points out
Hi, John.
that on the YouTube that Schaefer was wrong about Dylan Raiola, a.k.a. Dylon.
There was
I almost forgot about Dylon.
Crystal ball. Yeah, I haven't heard that name in a while.
After all this time. Also, Scott writes in. He says, enjoy the wings today because you guys will be eating crow tomorrow.
Oh, crow
doesn't sound very good.
That's a good comment. Hey, I have not revealed my selection.
You haven't. Are you going to zag?
I don't know.
Do you actually not know, or do you just not know?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
We'll tune into that last segment.
Okay.
Sure.
We'll have that in a couple minutes. I have some keys for you, Josh.
Oh, I love keys. What are we driving?
It's keys season. Toyota Camry, and that's what Nebraska's going after tonight.
Conservative.
This will be the Toyota Camry of football games.
Not flashy.
All right. So we talked about it extensively in the roundtable, and I had it written down. So, John kind of stole my point. Very sad. Extend drives. I want to see some long man ball drives, even if you're not going to score.
Yep.
And even if, and you're not every time, you're just not. You can't allow them to dominate time of possession by having 3, little clunky three-play drives.
Yep.
That was what Mark Whipple was like the master of clunky 3-play drives. And frankly, he didn't care. He goes, right, they don't keep time of possession. There's a reason why they don't have it on whatever he said about time of possession on the scoreboard. He said it doesn't matter. He doesn't think about it that way. Matt Rhule, very, very different. He thinks the opposite of that. So you can't, it just can't happen. So first down, you got to go forward. You can't go backward, right? So that's one of the keys to extending drives. Like I said, you don't have to score every time. And it doesn't have to look pretty all the time. But you got to keep the 3 and outs to a minimum. Once again, last year Nebraska went 3 and out on more than 25% of its drives.
That's crazy.
It's not acceptable. It's a quarter of its drives that it had all season long. They went 3 and out, 3 plays on more than a quarter of them. Time of possession is giant tonight, especially with the way that they're going to play. Extend drives. Number 2, don't let Mr. Kaliak-Manis settle in. He's a new quarterback. I know we saw him last year, and he got a sort of extended tryout last year. He's a first game starting quarterback who might have some nerves. It's a big game. It's a big environment. Bother him a little bit earlier. We were talking about some of the splash plays that they could potentially make in the first quarter of the game. I would really look for Nebraska to try and maybe get one on defense. Send some blitzers. That's one of the staples of the defense. They can take blitzers and they can bring them from different places and confuse a guy and not let him settle in. And that's important. So if you're letting him pop all these busted runs like they were doing, these busted plays like they were doing last year against Nebraska in the second half when Kaliak-Manis came in, it's not going to be good for you. Stop him. Don't let him settle in early. And the third one is, of the Matt Rhule program, I think. Stay the course.
Oh, I was thinking about that on the drive over here.
Stay the course. Stick to the run. They're not going to blow you out. Trust the defense, and you don't have to score every time. But, there's a but to this one. If there is a window to throw a haymaker in this at some point, it's not particularly important if you lose this game. It's not the worst thing. It's not the end of the world if you lose this game. But, man, this program, if they win this game, I don't know what happens next.
Can't tell me nothing.
I don't know what happens next. So it would be a ginormous win tonight for this program. So if there is a window, if there's an opportunity to throw a big swing, take a deep shot downfield, grab grab a pick, have a negative play in terms of a sack or whatever it needs to be. I think I don't think they'll hesitate in taking it. It's staying in the course and picking your spots all at the same time.
Well, when games got close under the last regime, watching it sort of had that vibe that it's all about to tip over, like it's all about to spill out all over the highway, right in front of us.
Here it comes. Even when you're up, 10-0.
Yeah, and I think with Matt Rhule, you're going to have a guy who's seen more things in his football career, and he's going to be able to, hey, everybody, it's okay. This is part of the plan.
Well, you heard him talk about it. You just can hear his mindset on it. We've been up. You could tell he watched all of last year. They were up a lot last year. They had great first drives all the time.
Yeah,
last year they were up all the time, and it didn't matter. They were up 10-0 against Minnesota at halftime last year. It didn't matter. They were up. I mean, you could think of a billion things. I mean, Northwestern game, obviously. It didn't necessarily matter. So I think he tells that to the team, and he tells that to the people around the team to say, look, if something bad happens, it's not the end of the world. If there's one thing that he tried to teach this team in this fall camp and really just grind into their brains, it's exactly that. It's, hey, if something bad happens, the world is not crumbling, and we're not gonna just fall over and die.
That's just a good life lesson. Outside of football,
it's a fantastic life lesson. So you could still win it if you get down early. I know it may take us a while to get rid of that, I think.
I'm personally going to try not to scream, oh, here we go again at the TV tonight.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen. We're all prepared for that. Just don't be asking the people around you if they're going to kick an onside kick here. That's my only preference, I suppose. All right, quick timeout here. We got to get Josh's big prediction.
It's coming.
And we're just going to watch Gary eat his pizza.
Hell yeah.
During the next segment.
Looks great.
That's the plan.
People forget you can get pizza at Oscar's Pizza and Wings.
That looks good. No wings for Gary Sharp. He went pizza today. Interesting. All right, we'll come back. We're at Oscar's, 173rd and Center. Come on out for the Red Out Lunch, which is presented by Union Bank and Trust. At Union Bank and Trust, your money has people. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you. More up next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone's Red Out Week. Presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
The takeaway here is everything they did is worked.
And it's worked to the point that the attendance is up 8%.
That is bonkers. So, I mean, it's showing itself in every facet of baseball.
It's working.
Working on the field. It's working in attendance. I'm guessing, I'm not a TV ratings guy, but I'm guessing the postseason is going to have an uptick in viewership.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny, comfortable, and breezy for your Thursday afternoon with improving smoke and haze. A high this afternoon in Omaha of 84 degrees with southeasterly winds up to 20 miles an hour. Skies staying clear tonight, full moon still visible, breezy and mild again with a low of 64. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Cox Internet has so much to offer, we had to bring in an auctioneer to fit it all in 30 seconds.
Up next, Cox Internet with speeds that match all your needs. No annual contract, equipment included, services up and running the day you move in, all at our everyday low price. Going once, going twice. Sold to those who sign up today.
Wow, that's fast.
So's Cox Internet.
Learn more at cox.com/internet. No annual contract means no minimum term period requirement and no early termination fees. Restrictions apply.
Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
Join the Storm Chasers September 2nd to honor and celebrate all the first responders in our community, presented by Warner Enterprises. The Chasers will take the field in special patriotic jerseys that will be auctioned off during the game with proceeds benefiting Pace Omaha. Local first responders will have displays inside and outside the ballpark. Get your tickets today at omahastormchasers.com.
Omaha Storm Chasers family. Everyone
Dillon, get on your feet, stir up the storm with family.
Shop Sid Dillon Chevrolet, Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer. Visit any of our 4 locations for your new Chevy or pre-owned vehicle or at SidDillonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Whoa, Sandra. So in less than a week, you'll have
my forklift operator certificate.
And Joseph, you're quick to
respond. Yeah, with my degree in paramedicine, I'll be a
first responder. Cool. Bella, where are you off to?
Just knocking out my gen eds before
transferring to the university. Smart way to save, Bella. Get up to speed with your me time. On campus, online, on your schedule. Get started at mccneb.edu/me. Classes start September 5th.
This is me at MCC.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
We created a simple PDF that gives you everything you need to know about branding, designing, and building a website that increases revenue. Download the website playbook for free at jmonline.com. If you're considering a website project but not sure who to hire, go to jmonline.com and download the free website playbook. It's a guide to a high-performing website. That's jmonline.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees.
Now back to the Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill. Presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people on 1620 The Zone.
Josh, I know we'll have some of these in what to watch tonight, but give me a noise on what you feel about these football games this evening.
I'm remembering some of our football bits from last season. I forgot we did this one. This is a good one.
Give me something. Elon and Wake Forest.
Oh.
Okay. Kent State and UCF.
Huh?
Oh, okay. Some interest there.
Bounce house going to be rocking.
You could go for as low as $5.
That's not the lowest.
Rhode Island and Georgia State. St. Francis, Western Michigan.
Who?
NC State and UConn. Okay, now we're cooking. Florida, Utah.
Oh, yeah.
South Dakota and Missouri.
Okay.
All right, yeah, there's something there. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Tulsa.
No.
North Carolina, A&T, and UAB.
Trent Dilfer.
You didn't actually have to make a noise there at all. Yeah,
That's my Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer. And finally, the nightcap tonight for the true sickos out there. I'm not sure what channel this is on. If it's on a channel, you might know this.
It is not listed as being on a channel.
Okay.
That's impossible, right?
Southern Utah and Arizona State is a football game tonight.
I don't have a noise for it, but I do know that the get-in price is $3.
$3
for that game.
$3.
You could buy 3 tickets for that, have $1 left over, and still have a better time than betting on Shedeur Sanders to win the Heisman.
I'm trying to go to Vegas Insider and see if we can get a line on this thing right now. It's not, of course, popping up on FanDuel.
Sure.
Why would it have garbage like that on a
No.
very outstanding website? Let's see. Let's go down the list. Southern Utah, Arizona State. The best line that I can find is 31 points favoring the Arizona State Sun Devils.
Interesting.
Watch out for them Devil now.
Watch out for them Devil. I'm trying to get a network to pop up, but cell signal is just packed wall to wall with people here.
It is.
Just can't.
It is.
Seem to get it to load.
That's going to be. It's not a great slate of college football. By the way, Platt Cat writes in on the Twitter.
Hello, Platt Cat.
Pac-12 Network.
That's what I assumed, but I mean, ESPN didn't even bother listing it.
But he follows up and says, so it's on the Pac-12 Network, so it's basically not on television at all.
Basically not on television.
It's not. Nobody has that channel.
It's true.
That's why the Pac-12 doesn't exist anymore, basically.
R.I.P.
Texter, this is Triggered Bob.
Hi, Triggered Bob.
Triggered Bob writes in. He says, can't believe Jenny was right. So pumped for tonight. Triggered Bob. Is this what we're saying now? Jenny was right?
Many are saying hashtag Jenny was right.
I cried.
I believe
I cried.
We proved through our actions, which are more important than words, that Jenny was wrong.
I believe so. I believe more so than Jenny was wrong. I believe Jenny and I found some common ground.
Yes.
More than Jenny probably anticipated.
Most importantly, she is yet to form an opinion on me.
Yeah, maybe still waiting for that follow-up email. Can't wait till we get that. Okay, Josh, it's time for you. To go ahead, open up your notebook. Get a big old piece. Josh is a guy.
I love a hard copy.
Josh is a guy who loves a hard copy. He comes with a folder. He comes with several pieces of paper. He comes with a pen at all times.
I hate trees. Everyone is on the same page in Minnesota close tonight.
Yep.
Which means that absolutely cannot happen.
I think so. Okay. Continue.
20-20. Final minutes of the game. Young freshman Tristan Alvano bangs one through from about 45 yards.
Whoa.
And this weekend is a celebration of the state of Nebraska.
Wow.
Because we're back, baby.
It's Nebraska Day in America.
23-20. Huskers.
Josh does it. He goes out on the limb.
Have a take.
And he
It's
says
on
it.
the hard copy.
It's on the hard copy.
It's on the hard copy.
I was waiting for somebody to say, no, Minnesota wins in a blowout. By the way, is that even in the cards? Is that even like on the table at all? I mean, everybody has Nebraska losing this game, but nobody has them losing by more than 10. Have we even seen a prediction that has that out there?
I mean, it's possible, right? Like,
I
can't rule it out, but neither team plays that style of game. I guess if Jeff Sims throws like 2 pick sixes, it could get out of hand.
Oh, it certainly could at that point. We do not want Jeff Sims to throw 2 pick sixes.
No.
Now, Nebraska has suffered their fair. I mean, as Gary just said, they did lose 34-7 up there a couple of years ago, 2019. You're not there. When I was there that day, and I was really happy. Actually, I had a great time. I was eating cheese curds, making friends around me. That was actually a great night. I was there also in 2021 when Jaquez Yant tripped.
Oh, I had forgotten about that.
He just fell over right before he walked into the end zone. That was cool because they did a shotgun snap from the 1 yard line. Will they do a shotgun snap from the 1 yard line?
I don't see that happening with the amount of fullback talk we've had this offseason.
Matt Rhule does not seem like the kind of guy to do a shotgun snap from the 1 yard line.
No,
he does not. So some of those things will just be gone from our lives. Hopefully, bad special teams play is gone from our lives. We don't have to reference Bruce Reed 450 every single time anything bad happens on special teams.
I hope to never have the conversation under Matt Rhule where, why did we do XYZ on 4th and 3?
Yeah, but the good news is, if that does happen, if there's like hey, what the hell was that? Matt Rhule will likely, we're not sure yet, will likely have a very detailed answer on what was going through his head and why it makes sense in his head.
That's a good point.
But I think there will be very few things that only make sense in his head and nobody else's, right? We should all be watching these football games and thinking, wow, we're all on the same page here.
He's been around the block, been an NFL head coach. He knows, hey, I'm going to have to explain some decision making, and it can't just be, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Josh, you have not given out your record prediction yet.
Yes.
Have you been stewing on a total for this year?
My total is right in the middle of what everyone else's total is. I'm a 6-6 boy. I think
6-6, and they win tonight.
Yes, I think.
Now that seems actually kind of difficult.
I think it could be a cold November for the Nebraska football team.
Okay.
We might not like the way it ends when we get to 6-6 in a bowl game.
You're not going to like the way it ends. If they're 6-6 and they win tonight, you're going to hate the way the rest of the season goes a lot.
Yeah.
So that's all right. Josh is 6-6. I'm a 7-5 guy with a loss tonight. So I'm going to like the way the rest of the season goes.
I hope you're right, but
I hope they win tonight. So.
Well, yeah.
All right. We will take a quick timeout. We have a couple more things to take care of. Poll questions. We'll tell you what to watch. Once again, live and still plenty of time to come on out because Unsportsmanlike Conduct will be here until 7 o'clock this evening. We'll let them take over in just a little bit. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill. The pizza is delicious. The Sports Grill, it's also delicious. 173rd and Center. We'll be back with more next on 1620 The Zone.
The Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's 2 locations in Benson and the Old Market. It's not just about getting a cone or maybe a couple of scoops. Call ahead and get your refrigerator, freezer filled with Ted and Wally's ice cream. We're talking about getting quarts or half gallons. All you have to do is call ahead and tell them that's what you want. Over 3,000 flavors, so whatever you're looking for, they have it. And if you have some special needs, if you're lactose intolerant or you're worried about keto, they'll help you as well. Over 3,000 flavors, 2 locations. Tell them Severe sent you.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is $50 worth of vouchers to Le Voltaire French Restaurant for only $25. Le Voltaire Pepperwood Village is a locally owned, unpretentious French restaurant serving down-home cooking with an extensive wine list and great handcrafted cocktails for decades. Whether dining with friends, clients, or that special someone, Le Voltaire will make you feel right at home.
Zone Deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Everyone knows about Taco Tuesday, right? But why limit it to just one day? Rusty Taco has the solution. And the best part is they'll even bring the flavor to you. With a full-service catering team, Rusty Taco can handle whatever your order is and bring it wherever you are. Whether your plan is watching the Huskers with an at-home taco bar or enough queso for 100 of your closest friends, you can find your location at rustytaco.com. Just click the catering tab to start your party or stop in for the margarita flights and happy hour specials. rustytaco.com.
Here's today's Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
The big game versus Minnesota is right around the corner, and while it will be a day full of pressure in a hostile environment, head coach Matt Rhule isn't that worried about getting off to a quick start.
Yeah, you're never going to hear me talk about starting fast. They started fast last year. We were up 10-0. The game to me is about, as Coach Osmer told me, played the whole game to get to the fourth quarter and try to win in the fourth. We want to be the best team at the end, and I've worked hard to teach our guys that. There's a great quote, what kind of competitor sees the finish line and slows down? We want to sprint to the finish line. We want to sprint. And so for us, we're going to go out and play really, really hard. We're going to trade blows all game, body blows the whole game. We'll get to the middle 8 right before the half, and then come out of the half and try to win that, play hard, and then get to the fourth quarter, and to me, the whole new game begins. And then you get to the final 5 minutes, and it's like NBA basketball. Like, wake me up when there's 5 minutes left on the clock, and I'll come watch.
For The Zone, I'm Matt McMaster.
The Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Attention all you Husker football fans. This season, get ready to cheer on your Huskers like never before. Tickets for Less is offering an exclusive deal that'll have you jumping out of your seat. Use the promo code THEZONE and save big on Husker tickets for every game, home and away. From the electrifying home opener to intense conference matchups, Tickets for Less has you covered. Don't miss a single moment of the gridiron action. Visit ticketsforless.com today. Use promo code THEZONE and secure your seat to witness the Huskers live on the field this season. Hurry, this offer won't forever.
Now back to the Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill. Presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people, on 1620 The Zone.
All right, final couple minutes of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer and Josh Odson with you. Appreciate you guys coming out today to Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and Center. And your time to do so is not going anywhere anytime soon. You have until 7 o'clock. And I would encourage you to come watch the game here as well. It seems like an awesome place to watch the game.
So many TVs, crystal clear TVs. It's not like you get in there and it's like, oh, the color's off and the sound isn't right.
And the great thing is, it's the AV setup is awesome. And the great thing is, if you want to stay here, they'll let you stay here and you could just keep eating wings. You just eat lunch, eat dinner, eat a snack. Josh is about to do this right now.
There's no limit, I've been told, to the amount of food they will give you. There's no cap.
I believe there will be a second lunch for Josh on the horizon.
It all signs point to second lunch.
Very interesting.
Lunch, second lunch, pre-dinner, and dinner.
Peterman gets it.
Yeah, he gets it. He knows what's going on. We got to find a way to get Peter a chicken wing, by the way.
That's right.
That's what he said he wanted.
I don't know why I phrased it as a single chicken wing, but yeah, I do love it.
I think we can make that happen. No more than that, though, Peter.
That's on you.
Just get the one.
That's it.
Poll questions at Happer Show today. We had a few. Did you cry?
100%.
I don't know if this is most voted on poll question of the day, but it is awfully.
It was trending that way early.
Yeah, I do believe it is. 60% say yes.
Good job, audience. I like that.
Not afraid to admit it. I cried. Welled up a little bit last night. Will Matt Rhule wear a hat tonight?
This is big.
Matt. I'm going to vote. I guess I haven't given my answer on this. I'm going to vote yes. I think he will wear a hat tonight, even though he has not done so mostly in his previous head coaching stops.
I tend to agree with you. He's been a bit of a hat boy lately.
He's been a hat guy at practice.
Is the hat trending up?
I think, the hat's coming on for Matt Rhule.
I'll go yes then.
You say yes too as well, Peter.
Yeah,
57%. 57% agree.
Oh,
they say yes, he will indeed wear a hat. And then two more. Was April of 2020 the best time to get stung by a bee?
I think you're right. This is sound reasoning by you.
I made the case.
It's gotta be.
That was the best. I figured I got stung by a bee in 2020, and I thought, man, this is awesome. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm drunk. Like, this is. I don't feel the pain. This is amazing. Yes is my answer.
The only other answer would be like before cameras were around, right? Like,
I guess
like
so.
That long ago.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, I think the answer actually is yes. I've made the case, and I stand by it. Only 52% say yes, though.
Ooh, neck and neck. Get your
case.
vote in.
And finally, have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, I'm Selma Hayek?
I have not. I have.
I haven't either.
Been accused of having man bosoms, but not to that extent.
Well, we know it can't be 100% because of that story.
That's true. 79% say they have not had this experience.
That's a surprising amount of yes.
Let's talk to the 21%.
Yeah, almost 21% say that they have had this experience.
Like a fifth of the audience has said, I look like Selma Hayek today.
At one point in their life, looked in the mirror and said, I look like Selma Hayek.
I guess maybe more women vote on our polls than we realize.
Maybe.
We're very pro-women.
That's true. Jenny was wrong. Those are the poll questions. Josh, what are we watching tonight?
How about some college football? We have poked around and joked that we're all the way back, but tonight we are actually all the way back. 7 o'clock, Big Fox for Nebraska and Minnesota. Connor and myself host Big Red Overreaction immediately after the game on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
Zone.
FM radio, where we belong.
Where we belong.
You hear that? Yeah, okay. Florida Gators outside the state of Florida in a non-con for the first time since, like, the dinosaurs walked the earth.
Yeah, that's right.
At number 14, Utah tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN. Kent State goes to the Bounce House at UCF in Orlando. 6 o'clock start on FS1 there. SEC Network has a football game. Could I interest you in South Dakota and Mizzou?
Mildly.
No, probably not. Maybe if there's like 2 games at a commercial and I need a third game, that's
what channel is this?
SEC Network. Just a 4-game slate
on that principle
in Major League Baseball today. Yankees-Tigers going on right now on MLB Network.
Tigers are playing
ESPN
during the
Plus.
day.
Yeah, of course, where they belong.
Shocking.
I believe they're even up on the Yankees like 3-0. It's at a commercial right now, but we'll find out.
You can watch it at Oscars.
You can. It's on 3 TVs here. Marlins Nationals, 6 o'clock on ESPN Plus, and a bonus if you tune into Big Red Overreaction tonight. You will get Big Braves Overreaction.
Oh, no.
Because at 9 o'clock on MLB Network, Braves, Dodgers, Spencer Strider versus Lance Lynn. The Dodgers are 24-4 in the month of August. The Braves have a 4-game lead in the National League as these two teams set a 4-game series.
You will get in 0 Braves takes.
Oh,
tonight.
no, I'm getting one in. I guarantee it.
Not tackle Ronald Acuna. Yes, if
Don't
you can
tackle Ronnie.
Yeah, if you can get that in from a football
Put them in a
perspective,
bubble.
that's good.
U.S. Open going on right now. And one final thing, non-sports, 7 o'clock, CBS, The Price is Right, a tribute to Bob Barker.
Oh.
Drew Carey in his wild hair hosts a celebration honoring the life and career of his beloved predecessor who died August 26th at the age of 99, Connor.
Not 100.
He got as close as you could to 100 without going over.
In true spirit. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you,
By the
Connor.
way, are you seeing what's going on our
No.
A couple of recent comments on our YouTube.
I'm in a bubble right now.
So our YouTube's blowing up today. A lot of people watching. People care about this. So there is an account that has chimed in called Free Sports Picks. So I guess they just comment on YouTube channels and believe sports picks.
Yeah.
And so they left their sports pick for Minnesota and Nebraska, and they said 13-3. And they're now being booed out of the room by the rest of our YouTube watchers.
I mean,
Yippee.
Dion lives in this chat, and they don't boo him out of the room.
Yippee said, "Shut up, free sports picks." And Brandon says, "Your sports picks suck."
An amazing revelation here.
Just keep that energy going for the 5 hours of unsportsmanlike conduct, which we cannot wait for.
A mega USC.
Oh, they were just like, you want to just start the show now?
Hey, the mics are on.
Yeah, okay. You just go right ahead.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm not turning them off.
We're going to take a break, so you guys can feel free to do whatever.
all right. Bye-bye.
All right.
That's the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com, where you can find it. Thanks to Oscars for having us out. The crossover is next.
The Red Out Lunch at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is presented by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people on 16.